Well, well. Got an early bird in our midst. Prime. Just one patrol. Mixture of yours must have worked. Eveline, you ready?
Are you kidding? Of course I am.
Three, two, one. It's clear. On your way.
Telling you, Assassin's Creed. And hello, Dwarf Platy. Hello, Vigilant, Colgrim, Hazardous. What's up, guys?
Plowing city foul, shite all over again. What? I'll show you. Patrol's turning round.
We've 1 minute. Move!
Damn, should have blown myself a bit, prick and all.
Hello, Tazara.
Bugger all, you said there'd be no one inside.
Seems my informer was wrong.
Is that all you've got to say? I nearly broke my neck.
You knew what you were signing up for. This is no time to argue.
I mean, honestly, Kay's right. Even as of this exact point in time, the only one who's screwed up at all is him. Whatever his name is. Bob, I think. Something like that.
Gotta agree. Backing out's not an option anymore. Need to see this through, whatever happens.
Hallowed words. One guard could mean many more. You'd best draw your sword now.
No.
What now?
No one dies. Said so from the start.
Whatever. Don your masks and let's go.
What I also find interesting, too often fiction has a presumption that criminal means everything, right? You're a criminal, therefore you're okay with doing everything. And there are certainly people like that, but I've always liked the distinction of a thief who really does not want to be a murderer, for example, right? And I get the strong impression that at least Evelyn is more leaning on the lines of that, thief who does not want to kill. Just my opinion. I don't know. Wait a minute, Kay. Do you want to kill people? It's okay. You can tell me, Kay. I understand. Believe you me, I understand. No, I'm kidding. Ah, you suck, Hazardous. Both of those are awesome things. To me, anyways.
Clear for now. Knock on wood.
Good. Eyes in the back of your heads, everyone.
Mine are open. I've already seen several things I'd gladly take with me.
Not now. The vault. That's our target. Is that...
Yeah. He also has no idea how to take charge at all.
Watch this. Guards! Guards!
Well, that's that. We're buggered.
You said...
I damn well know what I said. At them before they sound the alarm.
So there's the second time Ewald, or whatever his name is, screws up.
Smashes!
Set flamethrowers to stun! Unless that actually kills him, in which case I feel really bad. Notice he's using a metal sword here.
Stop him! He's not to flee!
It worked, Kay. We didn't kill anyone. The game even acknowledged it. He did.
Lock themselves in.
Bollocks!
God,
Damn
what a
it.
pathetic lout. So hostages, huh?
You have no chance!
No, I'm pretty sure I could kill all of you.
Perhaps not. But we do have hostages.
Mercy, Master! On the count of 3, we go in! 1,
I missed it.
2...
Come one step closer and folk will die!
Hold now! We must negotiate. What are your demands? To release the hostages?
Buy us a bit of time, Geralt.
Why, Leander? Alright, fine, whatever. Just for you.
We have one demand. Pull back from the auction house.
You know I cannot do that!
You can, just not sure you want to. How about I help you decide? Kill a hostage.
Just do what they want! I beg you! Calm yourself! No one is to be harmed, clear?
Nothing simpler. So long as you take your boys and pull out, we'll all live happily ever after.
I repeat, that is not an option. We must bargain, reach an agreement.
So tell me a joke. Any joke. So long as it's funny.
Excuse me? This is no...
Got a tip for you. No charge. Every tip after this will cost you, in the blood of an innocent. When talking to someone who's holding hostages, never use the words no, not, but, or maybe. Understand, Reginald?
My name's not Reg. You're not supposed to say not!
Huh, see that? This one gets the idea. And if I want to call you Reginald, I'll call you Reginald. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Excellent. So let me hear the joke, Reginald. And believe me, you better hope it makes me laugh.
A little elfin runs up to his mother, calling Poop Poop. She says, "It's over there, love. Cut yourself a slice."
I don't get it. Ahem. Flamethrowers to stun? Like, seriously, can we actually not kill these people? Is that even an option? I don't see corpses to loot.
Triggered that fight. Could have done without both.
That explosion gets us in the vault.
Where's Eveline?
She's fled. All the better. Fewer hands reaching out for loot. Come on before reinforcements arrive.
I mean, I didn't see corpses to loot, so I'm gonna just say they're not actually dead. So yeah, I think we're still in non-lethal mode. God, Leander. Tell me a joke. You weren't supposed to say not. I guess we could just speed this up a little.
A mighty fine whoop that was. A wee bit loud, aye, on account I had to add more fulminating silver than usual, but...
I'm not interested. No one's interested. We go in. Geralt, you're at the fore.
Why me?
It's why I hired you. Now move. We've no time.
As a quick aside, can I just say that this guy is astonishingly unprofessional. Like, I get that that is the point, but this guy is pathetic. Like, I have seen literally amateur enthusiasts who can do a better job of keeping their cool and being a professional than this yahoo.
Same paintings were on the block, including this fine piece by Van der Noob, the master from Maribor. Same paintings were on the block.
No.
The master from Maribor.
They're in the vault. Lock themselves in.
I was just thinking that, Flavafields.
All of you.
I would appreciate these paint. Oh my god, he's doing it again! Every heist needs someone terrible at their job. Yeah, you'd think it wouldn't be the organizer, but, I mean, whatever, right? Imagine if in Ocean's 11, Ocean himself was just like this guy. Stumble, stumble, whoops. Stumble, stumble, whoops, whoops.
You don't know who you're fucking with.
Oh no, two guys.
On the contrary, I know all too well.
Ewald?
Greetings, brother. Been years.
Stone me stupid and slap me happy.
Think you owe us an explanation, Ewald Borsodi. This family reunion. What's the point?
Revenge. For betrayal. Years of poverty. Humiliation. Father left the auction house to me in his will. Horst cheated me. Had me disinherited.
Anything. Everything we earned, you squandered on cards and whores. Father didn't see that. I did.
That's no excuse, Horst. And it won't save your life.
You two, stand with me. I'll not let the Redanians lay a hand on you. Give you whatever you want.
What do you think, guys? I mean, honestly, I don't care about either of them. I really don't. Oh my god. I just had a weird thought. We talked earlier about how Gontar O'Dim, I theorized, I should say, that Gontar O'Dim is high tier, who's putting himself at the level of the pawns to play as part of the board game, right? So, from a theoretical perspective, you could say a high tier is playing as a low tier, just for fun. And it just kind of occurred to me, Geralt, who is pretty high tier, is roaming around with these relatively low tier people. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, because the difference is Gontar does it for fun, and Geralt is doing it because he is being forced to, but that's interesting to think about. That's true, Colgrim. Geralt does prefer low-tier people, in general. I could probably name 4 high tiers that he really likes, and 2 of them are sorceresses. Okay, we'll be loyal. That's what it matters.
A desperate attempt at bribery going once, twice, thrice. No takers, no sale.
Oh, we'll take whatever we please. Once we've ripped your runners from your ass.
Hallowed words, mate. At 'em!
Gonna split your mouth.
So now we're going to kill people. You notice the sword difference. So, he's dead. Oh my god, he's actually on fire. Oh! And note the more complex swordplay, too.
I'd have preferred to resolve this elsewise. Stolen the scrolls, thrown you out into the street. Revenge is best served cold, after all. But I don't mind serving it hot. No.
I beg you, mercy, for your brother. I shall do anything you ask.
Truly. Anything.
Anything.
Sign over to me all that you own. Then walk out as you stand with just the clothing on your back.
Allow me one thing, any one thing.
15 years. In the sewers. Begging. Like a beast. And you've the cheek to plead. Take that.
Satisfied?
Exceptionally. You?
No, and I won't be until I find Max Borsodi's house. In this vault, or so you said.
And it is. There. But I fear it's not yours for the taking. You see, it houses my father's will. A scroll thanks to which Ewald Borsodi, long missing, will assume the family fortune.
And Geralt of Rivia, who you cheated, what'll he assume?
Alas, but he's free to choose anything else.
Gents, keep calm.
Don't provoke me. Never know. Might choose to take your head.
You're wounded. Tired. Figure my chances are good.
And that is ignorance speaking. I would actually very much like to kill this guy, but I don't want Casimir to die. So...
I could drop you easily, but maybe I don't have to. We could try to figure this out.
A compromise looks unlikely. We both want Max's house.
Not quite. You just need the contents. Me, the box.
They're downstairs!
So be it. Seal it with a handshake.
Oof! That's a load off my prick!
Give me the damn casket, and let's get out of here.
As you wish. This way.
Hello, Mind Blast. And thank you. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Let's go with Leo Bojalil. Or Bojalil? Thank you very much for the sub. Even though I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Much appreciated as always. Thank you so much. If you happen to know what you'd like to put that towards for a future stream, just let me know. And it can be so done. I'm surprised I didn't get that, Leander, because I got that last time. The... ah, damn it, thing. At least Casimir lived. That's nice. You're welcome, Casimir. I let a literal murderer live. Honestly, probably just because he figured it would be an impossible thing to get, Alex. I doubt he put much real thought into it past that. Same with the give my brother the time of his life thing, right? Hi, Lycon. Apparently it's explained later, so ignore me.
Here's where our paths part.
Shut up.
Was I that bad?
No, but you came awfully close, Ewald. Survived by a hair. Take care, Casimir. Here's hoping Euphemia sees the light, comes back.
Oh, plough our moods and ires. With the gold I've got, love just ain't nothing I need.
In that case, you and your coin purse live happily ever after.
So there, one person got a good ending out of this, so that's something at least. Well, I guess Evelyn got away, but she didn't steal anything, so she got away, with nothing. Oh, well. So we're going to turn this in now. Well...
Long live acceptance. I feel like puking.
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn this in. Sorry, debating my options.
You'll choke to death on 3 pounds of...
Never hazardous. Never.
What are they doing?
Playing. Overgrown wains, you see. Have you any children, Geralt?
None.
Oh, yes. Forgot witches is sterile. Well, don't just stare at me. Tell me what brings you.
Got something for you.
I love gifts, but I prefer to unwrap them in private. Oi, lads, mind the barrels. Going out for a jabber with Geralt. Come.
Erendite writing.
That's better. All right. What do you have for me?
Max Borsodi's house, as requested.
The papers. Where are they?
Left them in the vault. You wanted the house, you got the house. Never mentioned its contents.
You're a quick study. Already as tricky as Odin himself. Keen to ridicule a man. Do you know what I and the company do with your type?
Dunno. Ask for legal advice? Looks to me like you might need some. You signed the contract, Olgierd. I'm just fulfilling its terms, to the letter. Unhappy? Hell, should have chosen your words more carefully.
Yes, I should have. I assume you came to an agreement with Horst. Shame. A right horse in that one.
Made a deal with his brother, who then beat the living shit out of Horst with a gold candle holder.
Huh. It's progress.
The Borsodis. What's your gripe? Get kicked out of an auction?
Worse. They evicted me from my home. Are you really interested?
Wouldn't have asked if I wasn't.
Ha! Cheeky as ever. My family, they took on some debt. A poor investment in a sawmill. A bad crop one year. A lawsuit lost. You know how it is. When it rains, it pours. We needed but a few weeks to recover. But Horst Borsodi had acquired our debt. All of it. Demanded it be repaid immediately. I pleaded. I begged. I tore open my shirt at his threshold. Ugh. It was like talking to a wall. I went to the auction. Saw those perfumed pricks buy my father's sword. My mother's death mask. My brother's horse tack. Ah, Horst earned a pretty pile selling our mementos.
No surprise the animosity you feel for him.
That was but the start. My Iris's parents learned of my family's misfortune, and our betrothal was no more. They found her another suitor, one from beyond the sea. The anger I felt. I thought I'd gone mad. Went to the tavern, drank a round, a second, I brawled, then had another tankard. And then I asked the wrong bloke for help.
What happened then?
What happened then, Witcher, was one big stinking pile of shite. You need something?
Nothing more, don't think. I'm off to entertain your brother.
Break a leg. Literally.
Damn it, Tazara. We've talked about this. Alright. Tell you what, Tazara, I'm going to let you decide. Should I use this notice board or not? And now the entire stream will wait until Tazara makes a decision. Oh, he decided. Okay. Yeah. I was hoping to make him wait longer. I'm interested in buying neatly taken lecture notes, particularly from Professor Edgar Grinberg's series of discourses on rhetoric. In light of the recent closure of the Oxenford Academy, the Drinker's Degree, our cherished student union, which for 87 years faithfully served up soothing ales and lagers for the thirsty student body, has closed its doors. I'm just going to skip through these. Handbooks for sale. Okay, I gotta read this one out loud. I, Wenceslaus Havelcock, are you sure he havels a cock? Would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our dear King Radovid for winding down Oxenford Academy. At long last, a leader has arisen with enough courage to demolish the hive of free thinkery and cosmopolitanism, to send that pack of troublemakers, pseudo-intellectuals, and elitists back where they came from. Pah! Long live Redania and her cherished traditional values. And then he cut himself on his iron plow, which was a little rusty, got infected with various things, and died horribly, unable to treat it. The end. That's the Toussaint thing. So we're not going to do that. Hopefully that didn't start it. 'Twas the will of the eternal fire that he died. I gladly give my life to the eternal fire. Ugh. See, the reason it's called the eternal fire is because... I can't turn that into a joke.
Your breath, oh, the stench of rotted teeth and vodka.
Leave her alone.
Why's that? Want us to plough you? Is that it? Doable, but you'll have to hide that mug in a sec.
Okay.
Let the woman go. Then we can flirt.
Look at that! Vagrant Mutt's giving us orders. Needs to know his place. Fuck him up.
Okay.
You alright?
Fine. Truth be told, I'd have managed on my own, but thank you.
You'd have managed it? Managed those men by yourself?
Of course. Knee to the bollocks, elbow to the throat. Job done.
Walk you home?
Hey now, I'm grateful, sure, but I'll not demonstrate that in the alcove.
Walk you home, that's it.
In that case, yes. Come.
And then she stood there forever. The end.
What is it?
Go! Jeez. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Which end?
Master Witcher, do you always help folk for free?
Sometimes for free, usually for pay.
Phew. I was afraid you were abnormal.
Redania.
The witch hunters defend us from monsters.
Here it is. Really, you needn't have troubled yourself.
Forgot. Could have managed it on your own. Well, don't let me get in your way. Farewell.
Oh.
I've tested the slime samples. I believe I'll be able to brew an antidote.
Good. A pox in an army can prove more ravaging than even their fiercest foe. Your service will be recognized.
How? Will I get a toad-shaped medal?
The army's not got any medal like that.
Geralt? Are you alright? What's that on your face?
I like how she notices that immediately. Trained medic.
We're conducting important business. Yous can catch up later.
Yes. Right. I'll get to work on the antidote. Shouldn't take long.
Tasty number, that medic. Not like a scholar at all.
Interesting. Curious to know, what do scholars look like to your mind?
Well, all that reading's hard on the eyes, right? So they wear spectacles.
Oh, aye. Thick ones, propped on wrinkled noses, and their clothing frumpy at best.
Who've they got to dress up for? The books?
Fascinating, really. But if I were you, I'd make sure no medic ever overhears you.
Huh? Why's that?
Because when you get caught in a battle, she might just refuse to stitch you back up.
You're a lucky bastard, Witcher. We've seen her making eyes at you. Not like she looks at us. Isn't that right? Admit it. You fancy it too, eh?
Alright. Hands up. How many Shani shippers are in chat? No shame in it. I'm just curious. I'll give you a second to decide if you want to admit it or not. I find it somewhat interesting, oh my god, that there really is no actual option for Shani. You cannot romance Shani, you can only sleep with Shani. So, I, for the record, am not a Shani shipper.
There's no denying her beauty, but she's not my type.
Talking out your ass, mate. You're passing on quite the catch. She looked at me like she does you. I'd not dally long thinking.
Here's the medicine. It's a strong solution, so careful with the dosage. Each patient gets exactly 2 drops after meals, 3 times a day. At the most, in 3-4 days, the infection should recede.
I thank you. In Redania's glorious name.
Serving the Redanian cause now?
I serve individuals. I treat them. That they're Redanians is coincidental. I'd help Nilfgaardians as well were I in a position to. Kedwenis, Edirnian, elves, dwarves, halflings, the same. Come on, Geralt. You know me.
Aside from the incident in the sewers, we last saw each other, must have been in Vizima.
Yes. Yes. When it was ravaged by the Catriona.
Feels like a century ago. Where have you been? What have you been doing since?
Well, I left Vizima and returned to Oxenfurt, proceeded to finish my doctorate, and then opened a practice. Shortly thereafter, war broke out, and I was press-ganged into the Redanian Medical Corps.
So what now? Radovid's dead.
But the war's not over yet. The chaos continues. I'm still very much needed. Though I can't complain. At least I live at home now, and I treat the ill, as is my calling. Though I must always be ready, for at any time the Redanians might knock with some painfully urgent assignment.
Yeah, we know, Kay. We had a long discussion about it when they first mentioned it. I'm sorry, I looked up a picture of Shani from Witcher 1. And I distinctly recall this now that I'm actually looking at it, because for the longest time I thought she was an elf. Because of the way she dresses, basically. Like, she's got basically the Peter Pan outfit going on. And I don't know, just... Yeah, kind of a Dragon Age-y kind of a look thing. I was obviously wrong, and I found out I was wrong over time, but it was just... She looked weird in the first game. Of course, everyone looked weird in the first game. You remember how Geralt looked in the first game? Compare that to that sometime.
Shani, I need your help this time.
I'd guess this wasn't a social call. All right. Tell me what you need. Is it at all related to that mark on your face? Ah, and you must tell me what happened in the sewers.
Where do I start? All right. Monster in the sewers turned out to be a giant toad, and this toad was actually a prince, an Ophiri one at that.
And I'm a Kaviri Duchess.
It's the truth, uncolored, I swear. When I killed the toad, some Ophiri soldiers led by a mage showed up, captured me. Man named Gontaro Dim freed me.
Who's this?
Could be a mage, a demon, or a djinn.
You don't know?
He's very powerful. That's all I need to know. He helped me out of a bind, and now he expects me to fulfill some nobleman's wishes in return. First one's to summon the ghost of his brother, then show him the time of his life.
Amuse a ghost? How do you intend to do that?
Not my chief concern at the moment. Gotta find his grave and summon him first, then we'll see.
But that's necromancy. It's extraordinarily risky and involves higher magic.
Odim told me how to do it. No sorcerers or necromancy involved. Gave me this concoction that summons ghosts. I'll need a censer too.
Well, that can be arranged. They keep one in a storehouse at the academy. I can fetch it for you.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. But I still don't like this.
Neither do I, but I don't really have any options. Gotta summon that ghost.
I understand. Whose ghost is it?
Olgierd von Everek's brother.
Von Everek? In my third year at Oxenfoot, we had to choose an elective. My options were Pearls of Wisdom from the Hierarchs, or Famous Redanian Dynasties. I chose the latter. Here it is. Von Igrid, Von Estiken, Von Everek. It says Olgierd had a brother named Vladimir. He lies in the family crypt near their manor.
Thanks. Knew I could count on you. I'm off.
The crypt's described as quite a work of art. I'd love to see it. Why don't I bring the censer? We can meet at the entrance.
This is going to sound like a strange question, but was she an optional woman to sleep with in the first game? I actually don't remember. Like, I remember very vaguely that there was like one romance that was not optional. And I want to say that was Triss. And I'm trying to remember who was what. I gotta be honest, I don't want to replay Witcher 1. Let's just put that as simply as I can. I probably like it better than most, but it's a game I never really want to go back to. It's not even... Okay, let's do that, actually. So anyways, I have two questions I was just... three questions. First of all, Hazardous asks, how versed am I in Stephen King's works? I know more about the overarching narrative than I do about the individual things. I've never liked Stephen King. He's just not my style. So... As for the second, would I like a storyline in which Liberty Prime is actually a person rather than an AI? Honestly, I don't see it would change much. And if anything, all it would mean is that the person inside has access to some excellent propaganda reels that I'd love to read. Papa Neeks asks what I think about the theory that he is in fact a djinn. We haven't really discussed the nature of what Gaunter O'Dim is yet, but of the various takes on him, even though that is actually the most low tier, it's actually one I don't care for personally. I like the idea more that Gaunter is a unique entity. That he is not of a species, that he is a thing. Which you don't actually often see in fiction. I'm done with them, Pillars of Snow. The whole show. So, hopefully that answers your question. Like, for all of the whys... Oh, that's right, this is the race. For all of the whys and wherefores of what exactly Gaunter O'Dim is, the one and only thing I really tend to adhere to, in my personal opinion, is that he's unique. Whether he is a type of demon, he is a unique demon. If he's a type of energy being or spirit or higher entity or whatever, I like the idea that he is unique. Everything else we can debate later, though. No. Wait, what did I say about Malachor? Because I hadn't actually seen the show until I did the recordings. It's the first time I ever sat down and watched it.
Never seen this side of you.
What side is that?
How do I put this? Your romantic side? Used to seeing you surrounded by bandages and medicine vials, often covered in blood.
Well, that's because you usually come round while I'm at work. Off duty now. Waiting for you, weaving a garland for the wedding.
Didn't know you were getting married?
Not mine, silly. My friends. This garland's not for me. Speaking of which, would you go with me?
Sure, why not?
Wonderful. So, it's a date.
Remember to bring the sensor?
Of course. Some soldiers nearly caught me slipping it into my satchel. Wasn't sure what you needed it for, so I also took a mix of amber, aniseed, and juniper. All rather smoky when lit.
Thanks. Might come in handy.
Shall we?
Let's go.
I just realized I'm still wearing this stupid outfit. I mean, I shouldn't say that. The new moon armor actually looks quite cool. But come on, we got better than this. We got better than this. I'll leave the rest of it as is for now, though. As much as I love those gauntlets.
The tome was spot on. This is impressive.
Yeah, too bad it's falling apart.
The family hit on hard times. No coin to splurge on such luxuries. Ooh, that looks just a little too creepy for me.
Don't have to come if you don't want. Wait here.
I like that idea. If there's any trouble, just yell.
This is no crypt. It's a full-blown mausoleum.
I've never heard of either of them, admittedly, Hazardous. At least not by name. Although that's funny, given I'm pretty sure they deliberately did the reference
This wouldn't be easy.
to the, the acronym. I mean, you can't tell me that acronym's on accident.
Last of the surprises? Sure hope so. Should look around. Honoratina, loving wife of Kestatis, died in 1257.
Ah, gotcha. That makes sense, Pillars of Snow. If this is going to sound strange, but I don't remember. Like, I remember that they took several things and kind of changed them around, but I don't remember a lot of the specifics, so... Wait a minute. Flag? That can't be right. Hang on. Gotta pause the stream. Nope, that's exactly who I think it is. Okay, so I know Flag. I recognize that name immediately.
Alexei, age 19, beloved son and brother. Old tombstone. Inscription's almost worn off completely.
God damn it. So, actually, yes, I know Mazanaka, but that doesn't change the point. Because, obviously, if his name didn't... Even if his initials spelled out G-O-D in Polish, G-O-D doesn't mean the same thing in Polish, right? It would only mean that in English. But when you localize things, that's when people have to put thought and effort into what they name things. So when the localization effort was happening, I sincerely doubt they did not do it on accident to make it so that his name was Gaunter O. Dim.
Kestatis? Not who I'm looking for.
I would be astonished if that was done on accident.
Eulalia von Everek, died in 1250.
Whoops. That does sound like the kind of thing that would amuse him, Kay. Although you and I kind of disagree on our interpretations of him. But shrug, as they say. No. 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 Now, someone asked earlier which was my favorite expansion. I bet you can guess just based on context. God, a bunch of eggs on a crypt. That's fun. I think the main distinguishing point between our interpretations, Kay, is... Oh, that's fungus? Oh, that's even worse. Who, Loner? Also, I need you guys to stab Loner just real quick.
Votive fire. Lit in honor of the dead. Old custom.
Be on fire. Ah, it's not working. No, it doesn't ring a bell, Loner. Sorry. Stab him.
Probably shouldn't touch that. Vladimir von Everek, son of Bohumil and Christina. There you are. Now for the ritual. Gotta spread the incense throughout the crypt, every room.
Hey, SJ. Now, if you're asking me if I would, no. If you're asking me if Geralt would, no, 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 no.
Life and death, fire and blood. Arise as a friend, for I am no foe. Return, and walk midst the living, ye who hath departed. Arise as a friend, for I am no foe. Return, and walk midst the living, ye who hath departed.
So that whole afterlife question kind of gets muddled by this quest.
Arise as a friend, for I am no foe. Arise from the dust, ye whose blood I have brought. Life and death, fire and blood.
Time to light the votive fire.
Although this could easily fit if these are simply echoes, as I described earlier.
Death. I summon ye, whose blood I have brought. Fire and blood, life and death.
You have summoned me, stranger. Why?
Name's Geralt. Came to wake the ghost of Vladimir von Everec.
Who you are, and why you've come matter little. For you'll not leave this place alive.
Are you Vlad's ghost?
Who asks after my grandson?
It matters not, Honoratina. What I wonder is how this mortal obtained the family's blood. For von Everic's rise only for von Everec blood.
True. Yet to my knowledge, only one of our line yet lives. Olgierd.
Then we converse with the man who spilled the blood of your grandson, Kestitis.
Mean none of you are Vladimir? It's Olgierd, his brother, who sent me.
You will meet Vlad soon enough. Yet Olgierd, you will never see again.
Die.
My. Ornery whoresons those von Evericks, eh?
Who are you?
The rogue you seek. Vladimir von Everec, brother to Olgierd.
Forgot I cannot even scratch my stones. Though in point of fact, they've not itched much since I died.
Didn't want to fight your family. They started it.
I'm dead, not blind. I preferred to see how you'd handle those snobby pricks. And Grandmum, too. Besides, what harm could you do them? They're dead as it is. Now tell me how you came into Olgierd's blood. If you hurt him, I fear I shall have to kill you.
Got it from a mutual acquaintance of mine and Olgierd's. I'm here on important business.
I'm a swiving corpse, with no interest in important matters, yours or any other buggers. The sole thing I miss is feasting, corporal diversion, so to speak. But alas...
Before I continue this, I want to answer Mazanako's question. I am -4 GMT, and I usually stream from about 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m., then about from 3 p.m. to about 7 p.m., an 8-hour stretch across the day.
Get a lot of visitors?
At times, not often. For when someone does drop by, the whole band comes out to play.
Fun-loving family.
True. We're famed for our love of revelry and rumbles. We von Evericks have brawled and raided for generations. It's tradition. Naturally, with raids comes loot, so we always had the means to celebrate right lavishly. Towards the end of my life was when things went sour. But no point poking at old wounds. Just days before I died, my brother claimed he'd found a way to dig us out, restore our state.
Hang on. First of all, does it say Tucson? No, it says Hearts of Stone in the title, Magister. So that should answer your question. Second of all, Gum Gum, I don't see why you'd think that your questions are bothering me. I, in fact, answered your question. And then you just said it was inspired by New Vegas, and then nothing else. So there's no reason to do anything about that. I made the comment in my rumination about this that he felt like a robber baron. And the more I think about this, the more that I stand by the idea that these guys strike me as people who raided into wealth. There's a term for that, and I actually can't think of it. Young coin or young blood or whatever. Yeah, didn't I swear I answered that, Gum Gum. Because you said, you mentioned the idea of an area set in the southeast part of what's left of the United States with an organization that's not political, even though that makes no sense. And you start as someone who is trying to either side with the people who are wanting to radically overchange it or those who are not. And I said it sounded like a side quest. It sounded like one of the like the guild arcs, to use the Elder Scrolls equivalent, right? Like the Fighters Guild kind of a thing. New money. That's the term. New money. I'm not even kidding. That if you look it up. New money is so there's old money and there's new money. Old money is rancid, decrepit, and terrible. New money is usually someone who probably shouldn't actually be rich. Oh yeah, Novu. I don't know how to pronounce that. Nauviao rich. To say it in English. By the way, Blackval, you never told me what you want to put that sub towards. I just noticed on my list here. That's what I said. Yeah, Nauviao. I said it like it sounds. So, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, New Blood, where they show up and it'd be like if someone won the lottery, basically, right now, to use a modern equivalent. You win the lottery and you decide to invest it properly and you're not an idiot and lose it all in a year. Congratulations, you're new money. And that means that there is an enormous amount of elitism. This is true to this very day, by the way. There's an enormous amount of elitism as to who will deal with you and who will react with you. Like, even though you have the money, there are some very large-scale corporations or banks or whatever that will just look at you and be like, well, who the hell are you? But I've got the money. No. You're nobody. You're some idiot who won the lottery. Piss off, little one. Right? Anyways, I swear this is all relevant because I always got the very strong impression from the old Geards that they were new money, basically. That for and of course this is a relatively recent development, but you know, from the recent the two brothers, that they raided and pillaged their way into money and never actually had any real connections or political affluence. Now, I don't know if they confirm or deny that, so feel free to correct me, but that's always the impression I got just from the way they talk and what we learn about their backstory. Jade Empire, you got it. So noted.
Your brother sent me.
How is the old rogue? What I wouldn't give to ride by his side again.
No chance of that happening. Could experience something else, though. Something a corpse should find interesting.
Interesting? Out with it. What do you have in mind?
Listen, it feels like I should know Olgierd better. Tell me something about him.
Oh, a fantastic chap. A true cavalier. You won't find another like him in all Redania. The best there is for a drink or a brawl. We were pups when we started riding out on raids. Wet behind the ears. Borderland villagers shat their trousers at the very sound of the word Olgierd. I was his second in command, leading a band of rogues who'd ride through fire for us.
Sound like common bandits. Any difference?
Us? Bandits? Watch your words. True, Some of our swordsmen were mindless brawlers, but not Olgierd. Always curious, took an interest in all things. He devoured books, adored paintings, and loved the most beautiful maid in the world.
Quick aside, I loved Geralt's expression there. We weren't just bandits, and then it just cuts to Geralt really quick going, really? Uh-huh.
Don't mean to pry, but just a little curious how you died.
Ah! No need to be shy. Folk love such stories. I'd love this one too, were it not to end with my death.
So how'd it happen?
On raids, it was our custom to storm the alderman's hut, and then order the local clods to bring us kegs of spirit. And provide willing wenches to squeeze and churn about. Then, sadly, an ambush. Outmanned 5 to 1, we were overwhelmed. They killed me, crushed my skull like an eggshell between an upturned oak table and the stone floor.
Listen, Olgierd gave me a job. Odd as it may sound, I need to show you the time of your life.
Is that so? Now that, sir, is a brother. I've been dead for years, yet he still looks after me, after my spirits. How much time do we have?
Think one night should do the trick?
Splendid. Wait just a moment while I hoist my saber and... What the blistering devils?
You're a ghost. Can't grab things.
I keep forgetting. But how am I to revel and rock and fuck? Can't lift a tankard to my lips. Can't wield a saber. Can't squeeze a wench as we dance a jig.
Guess you'll have to do without. Let's go.
I will go nowhere. You're to see I enjoy myself, correct? Well, then think of a way to make it possible.
How?
Revive my flesh.
No can do. Besides, body's probably decomposed.
Then bloody come up with another way. I'll not go anywhere in this state.
The long and the short of it, Magister, is we don't know. It's possible all ghosts could do this if they were summoned in this manner. It's possible that only ghosts who died in a certain way could do this. It's possible that this is debatable based on the will of the individual. Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine, Magister. There's no types of undead in the Witcherverse. It's not as well defined. That would make sense to me, Yudachi. So Gum Gum asked an amusing question. What's the difference between a raider, a bandit, and a merc? Well, a raider must always die. A bandit might need to die. A merc's usually more neutral. That's true. It could also be the location. Not only do we know for total certainty that magical nexus points exist, but we also know that certain architecture can contain magical influence on the surrounding terrain. So it could be the tomb, or it could be the place where they were. You know, the place where they chose to bury them. Or it could be something in their bloodline. Or Gaunter could be allowing this to happen. Or maybe it's the unique nature of the wish. Or maybe, like I said, it just is because of the summoning of blood. Remember, one of the key components of the ritual of blood is that you need their blood. You need the blood of their relative. Which isn't always going to be either A, possible at all, or B, easy to find. How do you define this exact person's ancestor? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that's not exactly going to be a Tuesday afternoon kind of a deal. But yeah, so a raider is scum. A raider is someone who wanders around and takes and kills, and there's a mentality behind it. I've actually described it before. It's literally someone who contributes and adds nothing to the universe and deliberately goes out of their way to take from it. They are a parasitic type of existence. A bandit is someone who steals. Now, that there's a little bit of gray in there because we've got thief and we've got bandit and we've got mugger. And there's also some other words that define that and actually get into specifics. But the long and the short of it is a bandit might hurt you and might kill you, but will definitely try to take from you. Whereas a bandit may or may not actually kill you. And then a merc is just someone who's been hired to do a job. I am amused you picked up on that, though, Gum Gum, because, spoiler alert, he's actually lying to us about his backstory. At least a little bit.
Guess I could bring someone here, and you could borrow their body just for the night.
You wish me to possess someone?
Yeah?
Say I agree. Whose body would I inhabit?
Dunno. One of Olgierd's men, maybe? Or a peasant who'd agree to do it for coin?
Oh, no, no, no. I shan't crawl into the skin of some unwashed bandit or dung-eating swineherd. I've a better idea.
Oh no, not gonna happen.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
So, possession. This is something that, to my knowledge, there's no real establishing information on. At least in the games.
Geralt, wake up. Open your eyes.
So I don't know how to even begin to speculate on this one. It's especially interesting because it started off as an unwilling.
To lie on a lap so lovely, and so near the wonders concealed a bit higher.
Ahem. So, I like how they changed the color there, by the way. So I think that it's worth noting that this was initially an unwilling possession. And yet, as we will see over the course of this quest, and this is a pretty good quest, there will be it'll become more mutual, basically. There will be, he will, okay, fine, you can take my body, but I get it back every now and again to talk, kind of a thing. So I'm not sure what to make of this. This is unknown territory for me. But before we go any further, and I did want to pause here, I like that they did the subtitles, first of all. As usual, excellent HUD design when it comes to that. But I want to give special praise to Geralt's voice actor. Even without the variance in text, you can immediately tell that that's not Geralt. Even though he's got the same general type of voice, there's a completely different lilt to it when he talks. Almost like you can almost hear him smiling as he says it. He does a great job with it, is what I'm trying to say.
Have you gone mad?
Yes, as soon as I laid eyes on you. Promise to stay and stroke my chin, and I shall spend the rest of eternity in a hound's body, trotting along by your well-turned calves.
Geralt? What's happened to you?
Geralt? I'm Vladimir.
What?
Blast. Fine, give me a moment. Yeah, definitely don't like being possessed.
You'd not have fainted had you not resisted so fiercely.
Geralt, care to explain what's going on here?
An interesting point of note. Does anyone ever see Olgierd's ghost other than Gaunter? I'm going to pay attention this time around, but you notice Shanti didn't even look at the ghost. She's just looking at Geralt. Just interesting little niggle in this whole situation. Okay, so some of them do see him? Okay. Anyways, yes, this is Shani or Shanti or whatever the hell her damn name is. Medic lady. This is going to sound strange. I think this whole thing would be way creepier and weirder. And the fact that they managed to play this just right is a testament to how much effort and work they put into this quest. Oh yeah, by the way, this is probably getting a plus. Because Vladimir, is actually surprisingly chill for someone who used to be a bandit and for someone who is currently dead. He is weirdly respectable. He has a degree of understanding and tolerance about him. He knows boundaries, like as Kay just mentioned. He was just full on flinging himself at Shani, and she was just like, no, and he's like, all right, fine, whatever. Let me give Geralt back. Fine.
Sorry about that, Shani. That wasn't me.
So who was it?
Me.
Shut up.
I didn't say anything.
Sorry, wasn't talking to you.
Who to then?
Well, to him. To Vladimir.
Geralt, there's no one else here.
Seems your lovely maiden friend can neither see nor hear me. There's potential in that.
Leave Shani out of this.
Ah, is that her name? Lovely. A perfect name for a perfect lass.
You're testing my patience.
As you are mine. Can you please explain what's going on here?
Oh, fiery. Temperament matches the drapes.
Listen, I'm supposed to show Vladimir von Everec the time of his life. Turned out, he's a ghost. So, willing or not, I gotta lend him my body.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you're possessed?
Not at the moment. Just now he's standing next to me, coyly grinning at you. But off and on, he'll enter my body. So anything I say or do will actually be him. His mind, his intent.
But what if I want to talk to you, not him?
Well, she should approach me and ask me to jump out for a bit.
Just come up and ask him to leave for a while.
I see.
Splendid!
She is taking this well in stride.
Sugar Plum, what say you we leave this dank crypt? There's a charming grove nearby where kisses taste sweeter than anywhere else in the world.
I take it you're Vladimir now. Doesn't seem like I'll have trouble telling you apart from Geralt.
My sentiments exactly. Between you and me, this Witcher fellow is an awful bore.
Only sometimes.
Ha! Seems we're kindred spirits. So, off to the nearest hedgerow?
I'm afraid I have to turn you down, dear ghost.
A shame. In that case, point me to the nearest brothel.
I've got a better idea. Just before Geralt entered the crypt to summon you, I invited him to my friend's wedding.
Good heavens. That's damn good luck. No better dancer in all Redania than Vladimir von Everec. My ginger muffin. With me, you shall enjoy an evening to top all others.
Wonderful. I must stop by my home first and change. So, we'll meet at the temple.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Why not?
I'm not fond of temples, see? When alive, I'd only set foot in one to loot it. And in death, I find I despise them all the more. Could we not meet after the ceremony, go straight to the feast?
All right. Seems we've no other option.
Splendid. Then I shall see you at the wedding manor.
More like a scar, Magister. He has no tattoo, per se.
I must say, Witcher, a man could lose his head for a lass like that. And that comes from none other than Vladimir von Everec, famed for his taste in women. So tell me, honestly now, man to ghost, are you her paramour? For if so, you have my word, I shall keep my distance. But if not, then... the haylofts we shall devastate together.
I mean, first of all, Yennefer would kill me. No, we can't banish him. Fine.
Let's say we were more than friends, once upon a time.
You tried to hide it, but I smelled a tryst. I know a thing or two about men, you see. A shame, though. I'd have satisfied her well, but no cavalier would rot in another's garden. So, Witcher, time for the wedding?
Let's go.
Onward. I'll be right behind you.
You see what I mean, though? The man's coarse, but weirdly respectful. It's rare to see that kind of a thing. Actually, I guess that's not true. We've seen several characters in Witcher 3 who are exactly like that. I mean, think about Zoltan for a second.
Comely maid. You're quite the fool if you've not ploughed her yet.
Keep your paws off her.
I'm to enjoy myself. Can I help it that I best like tumbles in the hay with fleshy lasses?
Well, my point is...
This whole witcher's life, what's it like?
Don't want to know.
If indeed I didn't, I'd not have asked. Go on, tell me.
You wouldn't like it.
Those signs, I'd like to try one.
What signs?
Your Witcher signs. Never done it. Could be interesting.
Rather not waste any time.
Till the stroke of midnight, what I would rather is what matters.
Fine. Here you go. How about this one? This is a favorite of mine. The Zoltan cusses like crazy, has no real manners per se, and yet he's a very respectable person. Respectful, to be clear. There are good folk tales, Gum Gum?
I remember that mill. Whenever Olgierd and I got up to mischief, we'd hide out in there. Once, we snuck off with some moonshine. Old cocksucker Yaramir caught us. Those were the days.
I can't even think of one, really, off the top of my head, Gum Gum.
Bloody fine mount. Good stance, powerful rub, stable withers. Well, well.
See you know your horses.
I should say so. My two greatest passions in life. Mares and maidens.
Spooking my horse. Roach doesn't like ghosts.
I imagine most animals don't like ghosts. Yes, Disco, the ghost thinks you have a powerful rump. I'd say that's word enough to kill the ghost if I were you.
No sign of her yet. We need to wait.
I wonder how long the tether is on this possession thing. Like, how much...
This is very romantic.
Fuck off.
Like, how much can he stray from you?
Behold, wars have started over uglier wenches. Well, raids have been undertaken at least.
True, she looks lovely. Let's go.
Whoa, whoa, hold. Mean to go in wearing that?
What's wrong with what I'm wearing?
Have you seen how she's dressed? I'll not parade at that jewel's side in a rank tunic. You need a robe. One daren't attend a wedding in anything less.
Don't happen to have a robe handy.
What do you mean? What about that?
All in all, why not?
Ah, that's the spirit.
Ah, this'll do wonderfully.
He likes to do the Superman stance, too. You notice that, Vladimir? You can't see my arms. Hey, that outfit looks familiar.
It feels tailor-made.
Now for shoes. One must wear shoes to a wedding. And we must be neat. May they draw and quarter me if I've ever seen a lovelier lass.
Nothing left of you to draw and quarter, alas.
Doe eyes, a swan's soft supple neck, and a waist so slim you could grip it one-handed.
You're actually quite amusing this way.
Also, as a quick aside, oh god, I look terrible!
You see? Geralt's been a pill, a nag. That all changes today.
Dramatically, I'd say. He's never been very talkative to start with.
He's been a fool, but I shall make up for that now. Will you marry me?
A big step, but I will think about it. For now, we should simply enjoy my friend's wedding.
Okay. For those of you not aware, I do very much enjoy this quest. Like I said, this could have been so much worse, but it manages to stay on this line of creepy and instead just be kind of endearing. And that's good, because I remember how this quest ends. And it ends pretty horribly, honestly.
May I please speak to Geralt for a moment?
Whatever for. This evening is about my pleasure, not his.
Just for a moment, then you can jump right back in.
Be quick! I'll not stand here doing naught. I'm to enjoy myself.
Geralt, I'm about to introduce you to the newlyweds. Please make sure your friend doesn't embarrass me.
I can't make him do anything. All that nonsense is his. I feel like an ass saying it.
And that's an important part, by the way. It means Geralt is fully cognizant while he is being controlled. So everything he says and feels and does and sees, he is still aware of all of it. That actually arguably makes this even worse. But anyways.
I liked some of that nonsense.
What, for example?
It would do you good to be more relaxed sometimes.
Relaxed? So you think I'm uptight?
What I mean is, it would be nice from time to time if you could sit back and enjoy life, instead of going around solving everyone's problems.
But what does... I don't understand.
Of course you don't. You're as dense as year-old hardtack. Luckily, you've got me.
Wait, isn't year-old hardtack the same as day-old hardtack? Like, isn't that the point?
We'll talk later. Let's go to this wedding. The sooner the ghost has his fun, the sooner this'll be over.
Finally, something that's not utter tripe. We shall dance till the break of dawn.
You get till midnight and not a second longer.
That's not enough. I shan't even get properly soused by midnight, let alone...
Make an effort. I'm sure you'll manage. You get to frolic and carouse till midnight. That's our deal. Then there's the capping. Then you go back where you came from.
So be it.
This way, my strawberry.
Jesus Christ. Oh, don't worry. He will, Gum Gum. I'll make sure of it.
I'll be damned. A proper wedding. Overladen tables, plenty of worthy drinking companions, and a swarm of fair maids. But none compared to you, my dear rhubarb.
Why is she various kinds of fruit?
Beware of the dog, Shani. Judging by the size of its house, the mutt must be big as a horse.
Thanks for your concern, but the doghouse is empty.
They let a man-eater like that run free? Have the wedding guests been warned? Seems we are indeed in for a cracking good time.
What a lovely rowan. I remember making necklaces of the fruit when I was a child.
Ah, the berries make for splendid hooch. Olgerd and I brewed in our teething years.
I shall introduce you to the newlyweds now. Try to behave.
For you, my rowan petal, I'd do anything.
You know, the funny thing is, given given Witcher's natural resistance to booze, he can drink a lot more than he's probably used to.
Come. Time to meet and be greeted.
I shan't stray a step from your side.
Time to say hello. Be nice now.
Yep. Sorry. Save.
Once more, all the best in your new life.
Thank you.
It's us now. Dearies, blessings rain down upon you.
May you live in health and happiness. Harmony and love forever last betwixt you.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Now go. Enjoy the feast.
Our turn.
I have no idea, Loner.
My dear friend Aldona and her chosen one, Jonas.
It's an honor. The sun shine brightly on this new path in your lives. I am
This is my friend of yesteryear, Geralt of Rivia.
Yes, 'tis I, Geralt, a witcher. Heartfelt thanks for your hospitality. I adore weddings. The brides especially. So fragrant, so tasty, I could...
Righto. I'm sure we'll all have a splendid time.
I'm sorry. It's just... You can tell they had some fun writing his dialogue for this section.
Aren't you an extraordinary beauty, my dear?
Why, thank you.
You had your pick of gents, I'm sure.
Where is this going?
I'm attempting to discern why she chose you, Jonas.
Mean you don't approve of my wife's choice?
I've no skin in this game. I ask out of pure curiosity.
Well, rein it in, or I shall have to explain my wife's choice to you hands-on. Out of pure pleasure.
Why so testy, friend? Have I insulted you? Merely told your wife she was a beautiful woman, yet here I'm threatened instead of getting thanks. Have some manners.
Geralt, that's enough. She simply fell in love, that's that. Jonas, I'm sure my friend meant no offense.
Tell me, Aldona, how is it you and my dear Shani know each other?
We met in Oxenfurt. Both studied medicine at the academy.
Wondrous times.
Over quickly in my case, alas. My family couldn't afford to keep me there. I was forced to return home after 1 year.
It's never too late to pursue an education, my dear. Your husband is certain to help you complete your studies, provide the necessary coin.
I don't know. We've not talked about it.
Come, Jonas, surely you've not taken Aldona as a mere diversion for the alcove. You will help her, will you not?
That is between me and her. You needn't butt in.
But I'm not. I merely ask. See, I've come to love your wife like a sister. So I ask you as your brother-in-law, will you help her?
I'm sure we'll discuss the matter.
That's my lad. You're a right decent chap. I knew it from the start.
This woman that I've just met, I've come to think of her as a sister. And that's why... Oh my god. I don't know if I want to hit the dowry option. Should I hit the dowry option? Should I click the dowry option? Oh my god. Okay, sure, whatever.
Aldona seems a curious choice for a bride. Did she come with a hefty dowry?
I assure you, Witcher, my choice had naught to do with coin.
Jonas' family is far better off than mine. They're a textile manufacturer.
It took a lot of convincing to get Mother to agree to our, as some would have it, mesalliance.
Toh, you never told me. Whatever happened to fortune is of no import to me and my family.
It isn't. Jonas told me the same. That your background doesn't bother him.
Never does. Not at love's first blossoming. But give it time. 5 years and you'll find few things that don't bother you.
I'm beginning to find what you say bothersome. I don't know where you're from, but in these parts it is rude to insult newlyweds at a wedding.
Insult? I'm merely warning you. Know a thing or two about life, you see.
Geralt and his jests. He has a strange sense of humor.
Very strange, I'd say.
We've chewed the fat enough. Time's a-wasting.
Are you, expected elsewhere?
Me? Ha! I simply cannot wait to sample your liquors and dance with the local matrons.
Jonas and I invited more than a few lovely maidens. Perhaps one of them will catch your eye.
Oh, that's for damn certain.
And perhaps you will catch one of their...
It'd be nice, certainly, but I shan't be terribly bothered if it's not the case. Come, let's drink.
Wait, what, Kay? Seriously? Alright, where's the halflings? Which of these various people is the halflings? Why would I lose at Gwent? How do you lose at Gwent? I literally can't even forfeit. I lack the ability to forfeit a Gwent match. So I'm gonna have to, like, go all in round one. And then just suck it for the second round. So where is he? Where is he? Halfling. Let's speed up a little bit here.
Look. Munchkin's playing cards.
Here we go.
Mood to lighten Geralt's purse?
Geralt won't mind. He's wild about cards.
Oh my gosh. Hello, Sidicusis. Welcome back. Oh my goodness.
Perhaps you'd care to sit down to some Gwent with us?
Most certainly would. You needn't ask twice, midget.
No need for insults.
I'm sorry. I meant no offense.
Were that true, you wouldn't have called him a midget.
I've apologized. What else would you have me do? Bring him flowers?
I'd have you play and stop talking.
Let us play, gentlefolk.
What's your wager?
Everything. The whole lot. I'm all in.
I never knew you to be such a gambler.
You shall see many new sides of me this night, my dear. Many large sides.
Normally we play that the loser's got to wear the ears.
I needn't care. I shan't lose.
Oh. You... That's why you want me to do this. And you're right, I could just pass. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah. Oh no, it's a 1 strength siege unit. That's too much for me. I pass this round. Why are you playing? Okay, sure, whatever. I mean, it doesn't change anything. Oh no, I've lost the round. Damn. Okay, this round. Hang on, let me think about this. Okay, he's gonna play a card. Oh my god, it's a 7 strength dragon! Ah, there's no way I can best that. I give up. You win, sir. You win.
You lose, Witcher. Hand over the wager. Everything.
Perhaps we could reach an arrangement?
No weaseling out of this. Hand over the coin.
What do we do now?
Feel good losing somebody else's coin?
I meant to win, give you the coin. I've no need for it in the grave.
But you lost, so now I've got to pay up.
I say, he talking to himself. Roaring drunk already, that's it.
We can't fleece a drunk. Have him don the cap and we'll call it even.
Just a minute. Bloke needs a lesson. I say he dons the cap and gives us 5% of the coin he has.
Hear that?
Agreed. 5% is yours, and I shall wear the cap. Never fear. A man must do what a man must do, and Vladimir von Evereck's a man among men.
Hear that? So sloshed he thinks he's Vladimir von Evereck.
Rogue's long dead, by my reckoning. Exactly.
Those ears. You look, interesting.
Time to drink! We are at a wedding.
Aye, let's drink. My time's as short as you are, friends.
To the Witcher and his betrothed.
Hear that, Shani? My betrothed. Know what that means?
No. What?
It means we should act as befits the betrothed.
And what's that mean?
I woo you, you resist. But it all ends as everyone knows it must. Ah, the merriment. good show indeed. Let's continue the ball.
Now I don't remember. Can I do everything here? Or do I have to...
I think you look charming.
Quite the lark, this Gwent. Onward to the next diversion.
Or do I have to pick? Because if I have to pick, I need to save. I mean, I'm going to save anyways. So now let's just kind of go around the list, shall we?
White wolf turned into the white ass.
Drink with us. Don't drink with us.
I never say no to a lady. To your fair beauty. And to yours, Shani, naturally.
Your elfin happiness. Fortune smile upon you, White Wolf.
He arrived, that's certain. I saw him myself.
Do you need help?
Shani, darling. Oh, you shan't believe what's happened. I'm marrying off my only daughter. Wanted a proper wedding for her, wild revelry. So I hired a true fire eater. You know, whoosh, scoop, sizzle, sizzle.
Ooh, I've not seen that sort of trickery.
Horribly dear diversions of that sort. He journeyed here from Novigrad.
But I'll not squeeze coppers on my daughter, oh no. The groom's family have us for paupers, but we'll show them how wrong they are.
Seems we won't, in fact, for our fire swallowers has gone as last Ewald's pudding.
Groom's hound chased him off. That blasted demon. Ugh, they sure named it right.
Calm yourself, Dumpling. Master Witcher's here now. Perhaps he can aid us.
Ow! The man's got ass ears. He should first seek to help himself.
Oh, such ears might be high fashion in his part.
Oh, I doubt that.
Before I can begin my witcherly investigation, I require guidance, clues. Tell me all you know, everything.
Well, the fire eater arrived around noon. Ate his fill of food, not fire. Then went for a stroll to air some gases, he said. That horror demon saw him and started barking like a thing possessed.
Why so?
Haven't a clue. Didn't like the man, sensed something awry. Perhaps the man swallowed fire. Animals fear fire.
If I feared, it would have fled, not given chase.
Damn fool dog. How can you know? But it snapped its chain and chased the fire eater into the woods.
Foolish or not, it's our son-in-law's beloved pet. There'll be hell to pay if it goes missing.
You needn't worry. The Witcher, that is, I, will find this swallower of heated things.
Oh, mighty generous offer, but no one knows where to look.
Matters not. Witchers, that is, we have our ways. The Flame Gulper, what did he look like?
He wore a jester's cap. Typical sort. Ought to be enough to identify him.
I shall find him.
We thank you, and hope for the best.
Awfully nice of you to offer your help, but are you sure you're up to it? You're not actually a witcher, Vladimir.
I wish to find this magician. Give it a go, all right? But you cannot help me. I must do it alone. I expect it will be great fun.
Fine. Don't have to do this, but if I were you, I'd find the dog's tracks, follow its trail. Just a thought.
Excellent advice. I'll take it.
Shani, Vladimir and I need to find the fire eater. If we're not back by midnight, then...
Relax. You'll be back in no time. I believe in you.
Tally-ho. Adventure awaits.
Don't lift a
So
finger
much
round the
coin,
yard.
all for naught. I do hope the mutant can find the fire eater.
And I hope he finds Demon. A quarrel with the in-laws? Wouldn't want that.
The fire eater will prove us a decent family. A family that throws a proper wedding. Can afford it.
Some bone nods so clean, I've only ever seen two like this. One in an anthill, the other when I caught a hen after not eating for a week. Its bowl is chipped. Tried to devour its bowl along with its supper. Daft mutt. The hound tore its chain off the wall. Underfed it seems, or else the ash liquor really boiled the mutt's blood. A dog made these tracks true, but a small one. Yet judging by its house, Demon is a hulk, but beggars can't choose their tracks. So I shall follow these.
Following some dog's trail? Not exactly how I imagined this wedding. Think I'll wait here.
Wonderful, my juicy pair. I shall continue my travails while you rest. Shan't be long now.
How goes the search?
No discoveries of note as yet, but I shan't give up. This witcher work suits me swimmingly.
Is there anyone in this forsaken hole?
Missing man, missing mutt.
Which is which?
Am I seeing this right? That gammy puss ran up a tree to escape that puppy.
Guess so.
You, get down.
Oh no, no bloody chance. I value my life.
What do we do?
Sit.
Now that is power. If I'd had that, the Horsons never would have gutted me. Make it do some folly. Roll about on the ground. That sort of sport.
No.
Oh, could you be any more of a bore? I'll do it myself.
Roll over. Leave it alone.
Were I to command it to eat its own tail, it would do so, right?
Demon, doghouse now.
Now what have you done? Why ever? Ruin my fun.
Have it at the wedding. Climb down. Man-eating beast's gone, as you can see.
You sure it won't return?
Positive.
Better safe than sorry, I always say.
And then he breaks his neck.
Geralt, this jester is drunk as a skunk. I hope he's not polished off that bottle yet.
I saved your life, man. Do you not at least owe me a sip?
Course. Bottoms up.
I say, cracking good mead. Now I understand why you wanted some private time with it.
Fine mead, true. But I was fleeing an hound. Hound? But it was a monster. A furry, faggy devil. They chose a fitting name for it. Those are excellent ears. Might try a pair like that. Just not sure they'd fit under my cap.
You're a man whose trade is literally to play with fire. How can you fear a tiny runt of a dog?
Was a monster! A demon!
So you said. You're a stoneless coward, sir. That's that.
Oh, beg your pardon. I'm not a coward. I'm cautious. Know what become of a fire eater who paid no heed to caution?
I suppose he might singe his tongue.
Guessed it. Settles that misunderstanding.
You can forget about performing in your state.
And just what state would that be?
Look at yourself, man. You're a tramp, can barely stand, let alone perform.
First off, that's bollocks. Second, I'm a fire eater, not a stilt walker. Standing straight ain't a requirement.
This may be my only chance to ask. Your fire-guzzling trickery. How does it work?
Oh, they'd toss me out the guild if I told. Except if I took you on as an apprentice. In half a year's time, you'd learn.
I haven't half a year. Come, just between you and me. We've drunk together. We're practically brothers.
Drank it all yourself. You're no brother of mine.
You dare toy with me this way? Very well. Refuse to tell me, and I shall leave you here as a morsel for any passing boars, bears, or bloodthirsty fawns. So choose wisely.
This here's assault. He's suppressing the arts.
Out with it.
I got this special mixture I drink before every show. After that, I can eat fire, spit fire, do what I please. It don't burn nothing.
Is that all? Where's the art in it? Any dribbling imbecile can smear his throat with a protective slurry.
I've had just about enough of this. First they release the hounds, then come and steal my meat, and now insults. I'm done here. Goodbye.
Didn't mean to offend the bloody charlatan. Do something.
Now, you're gonna forget everything you've seen, said, and heard in the woods.
Wouldn't a smack upside the head help the matter? Put the cheating coward back in his place.
No need. You'll go back to the wedding and show everybody your tricks.
Oh, your charlatan's tricks.
Yes, sir. I'll do as you say.
Coming or not?
I'm coming. I'm coming.
To the wedding, then. Perhaps I'll find some more interesting diversions there. Keep calm. Stay close.
I shan't stray a step. Wild animals behind every stump in these woods. Yes! Bear!
Seems there shall be no tricks. We must inform the bride's mother the magician turned coward.
Can I undo that? Or does he just die in one hit to anything? Because... yeah, that's kind of pathetic. Maybe that would explain why he was so cautious. He knew he only had 1 HP. Alright, whatever. Yeah, he's super dead. I've never had him die either. I'm going to hold off and possibly reload that. Whoops.
Following some dog's trail? Not exact. Following some dog's trail?
That's actually a fair point. We probably have a checkpoint right there. Yeah, he's still alive in that screenshot. Anyways, basically, Magister, we can see Syria later, but basically this happens somewhere during Vanilla. Probably. It makes sense that this happens before the end of Vanilla.
Wild animals behind every stump in these woods.
But definitely before Tucson.
Yes! Bear!
Bear? That? As much as it costs a tent pole. Hide, you blind fool.
There, you're saved, you idiot.
Tell me, are bears often boar-shaped in your experience?
Got weak eyes, see? Besides, I'm a fire eater, not some damn naturalist.
Indeed you are not, Master. Believe I failed to ask. What do they call you?
David Altonsborough.
Listen here, Master Hattonsborough. Stay close, and no harm will come to you. I'll see to it your drunken, fire-spitting gob gets to the wedding safe and sound. The missing fire blower is missing no more. It was my doing, if I may say so myself.
And Demon? What's with him?
He failed to return.
No, he did. He's just acting mighty strange.
Seems to be in a muddle of sorts. Got as much life in him as a carrot.
Might have eaten some nightshade or whatnot.
Your attention, please. I invite all to witness a spectacle unrivaled. A man so bold as to eat fire.
We must watch the trickery. Never saw anything like it while alive.
And then the screaming starts. Nah, I'm kidding. It's fine.
My kind of tune. Let's do some dancing.
In my experience, witches and dancing don't exactly mix.
Today they mix like fire and oil, my love. We'll dance the barn down.
But I know, Yudachi and Kira.
Faster till we expire.
But my overall point is that if you asked me to write down the canon time in which this occurs, I don't think there's any specific spot where it fits best. Other than before the ending. But even that has its own issues. Now, I do actually have an answer for you. And it's almost a shame Taito isn't here, because he'd probably find that amusing.
And now, a special treat for our special guests. The Witcher Geralt and his enchanting partner, Shani. Musicians, something lovely for the loving couple.
At last, music for a loving embrace.
Quick aside, I find this very interesting because Shani doesn't know who Odim is. And Vladimir doesn't know who Odim is. The only person present who knows that person is Geralt, who's currently not at the driver's seat. It's an interesting way to hide when nobody knows who you are.
Come, Shani. It's time you discovered my romantic side.
Oh, you're rather good at this.
A fortnight in a sale and a smashed loot. That's the price you paid for a couple of the random hire, right?
Oh shit, that's what?
See, my overall point, and I agree with both Kay and Publius, is that there's no perfect place for it to slot into the main story, and that I think is the problem. It was basically designed to fit in wherever, and as a consequence, it doesn't actually fit in wherever. Toussaint clearly is an epilogue, clearly fits after everything. But this basically feels like a side quest. And Lord knows we did several side quests on the way, but you get my point. It's,
The guards nabbed him.
A chair could dance a jig with you as its partner.
Oh, how humble you are.
I strive to be, yet should the need arise, I can strut as proud as any peacock.
Oh, the perfect combination. Women must love you.
Well, not to brag, but
Call it idle curiosity, but how many have you had?
many. And not a scrub hag among them, I should add. Women with true class, all. Though none to match your charms.
A fortnight in a sale.
Seems the music and the evening draw to a close. Know how a true dancer thanks his lovely partner.
I'm not sure I do. What are you doing? Have you lost your mind?
I have my mind, my heart, for you.
We must agree. You can say whatever you please, but you shall keep your hands to yourself. Understood?
Don't be upset, my peach. I couldn't resist.
I'm not upset. Just next time, don't lunge at me like that.
I'd had a long fast, so to speak. Hunger overwhelmed me. But Yes, next time I shall ask. Shani, may I kiss you?
You are incorrigible. Could I talk to Geralt for a moment?
What for? He'll have nothing of interest to say. The man's adrip.
Please?
Very well.
See how I've reeled her in? Now don't fuck this up.
Geralt, I'm curious what it's like when that ghost's inside you. Do you feel anything? Have any control?
I feel everything. Don't have any control over what I do or say, though. Why do you ask?
Because I wonder what it would have been like to dance with you. Just you.
Well, I probably wouldn't have forced myself on you.
Forced myself? It was an innocent kiss, naught more.
I don't know if I should thank you or if that should make me angry.
But don't get me wrong. I've thought about doing just that a few times, but...
But what?
But I'm not going to talk about it with him here. We can discuss it once he's gone.
I'll hold you to that.
Perhaps a bit of thanks is in order. Seems I've snared the little Robin for you.
You can shut up now.
What's going on now?
Nothing. Never mind. Happened to see the man who announced your song?
Yes, he acted as though he knew me, but we've never met. I was surprised. Who is he?
Gaunter O'Dim, Master Mirror. Wonder what he's doing here.
Then perhaps you should just ask him.
Yeah, he didn't show up without a reason. Need to talk to him.
Consider that he might have simply been nearby and dropped it on a whim.
Promise you this much. He never does anything simply, and certainly not on a whim.
Bah! I was to make merry, carouse. Yet here I've stood the last 5 minutes, listening to you talk. I'm going back in.
Better. Come, Shani. The night beckons us not to jabber it away.
White wolves turned into the white
The
ass.
night is young. Come, let's do something wild. If I may, Shani, I'd show you how I cut a jig, nimble as a leopard.
Don't let me stop you.
Hey Huthor, how'd the raids go? I suppose raid singular is more accurate there.
Why, the way you move. What charm, what grace.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Your health, Sir Dwarves. May your beards grow long, but never tangle round your ankles.
To the young lovers, may their loins never cool. May they sire many a bairn and reap gobs of coin.
Now, I don't like to spoil unrelated things on an unrelated stream, Huthor. All I want to ask you is a very simple question. How on the scale of satisfied to disappointed, where do you feel about that last cinematic? So, let's go. Let's see. So there's the woman there, and then there's the fishing thing, or the shoe thing, or whatever. There's the pig event, and talking to Gaunter O'Dim.
First Witcher contract. Done. Fire Eater found. His ass saved. If I could live again, I'd be a Witcher, for damn certain.
Don't know if you'd like that, my friend.
Of all these flowers, you, my dear, are the loveliest.
Believe the young man's mistaken me for another.
Not at all. I like my women as I like my peaches. Fuzzy and well ripe.
That's enough. Get going. You're drunk and randy. Nothing good's ever come of that mix.
Wait, what's the high end, Huthor? Because I described it from good to bad. Let's do this one next.
Found yourself a perch from which to survey passing bows?
What do you mean? My back aches from pounding the churn, so I'm having a...
And they said fire burns hotter in an old stove.
If I was your age, you'd be singing a different tune. Have you squealing like a kitty cat?
I'm not sure either, Kay. So we're going to get another fresh save in, and then we're going to try it. I would love to hear your thoughts later, Huthor, in Discord or whatever, since... Well, I'm closer to like a 2 on that scale. Maybe a 1.
What is this? Blustering about after pigs, are you?
Lads are racing to be crowned King of the Swineherds and win the prize that comes with it for their wench. Lady, meaning.
And the rules? One must be a swineherd's son to enter, I suppose?
Nay, any man can try his luck. All you need is to herd the piggies dabbed in yellow into the pen.
King of the swineherds, eh? And what's this king get exactly? The king's ransom, I would hope.
No coin. Honours the prize. King gets a crown of laurels he pins to his saddle, rides about with pride that he's king of the swineherds.
You mentioned some trifles for the lasses. Are they worthwhile at least?
For certain! Lovely, every last one. Pretty as a painting. Win and see for yourself.
Well, no, it's not bad, just disappointing, Papanix. Although I will admit, there's a reason I haven't gone back to BFA since January and have no current plans to do so.
Sounds like damned foolish nonsense. But why not give it a try?
We'd be honoured.
A witcher with asses chasing swine. Better than a goddamn circus.
What's that you say, peasant?
Me? Nothing.
Good. Keep it that way.
Get that cripple out of there! Couldn't chase his own wench into a bed, let alone a pig into a pen. Let the witcher give it a run.
Alright, I got this. Wait, wrong button. Sorry, wrong button. Sorry.
Shame there's no painter here. It's a moment worth immortalizing for posterity.
Watch my movements, Shani. I'm spry as a cat and sly as a fox. I'll show these imbeciles how one chases a porker.
In, my son, in! Nope, nope,
Come on, piggy. Got a nice and cozy pen for you.
Go, my son. Into the pen. That's the pen, right?
You see that, Shani? One pig penned.
Yes, like probably next year, Papanix. I actually put thought into doing that basically now, and then I sat and realized how much work that's going to be. And then I changed my mind.
Peasants learned a lesson from your better? Are the pigs penned? Indeed they are.
Master Witcher, we ain't seen such pig-chasing skill in a long time.
Your family had an ample pen, didn't they? Go on, admit it.
My family had many pens, but that in no way means I had any practice chasing pigs.
However it were, the crown's going to a good man.
And the king's chosen maid deserves a fitting favour. Here.
Just don't go hiding. Brandish it on your horse so that all folk may see.
What do you say to that, Shani? Ever witnessed such agility?
You're clearly a natural at chasing pigs through muck. You were a joy to watch.
How does my heart's captor like the prize I won for her?
The rag-stuffed piggy? It's lovely, truly. I've always dreamed of owning one.
Tell me, Shani, what's the key with you?
What do you mean?
I'm on the prowl, that's clear. In Geralt's name and flesh, of course. But still, yet the more I woo you, the less you seem ready to succumb. So I ask myself, what am I missing?
Perhaps you're just not my type. Considered that?
Rubbish. I'm every lass's type.
Is that so? Prove it.
With pleasure. Show me a lass, and I'll have her eating out of my hand in the blink of an eye.
That one, with the garland.
Splendid choice. Now observe as Vladimir von Everek does his thing. Now, who have we here?
Do I know you?
That's the crux of it. We've not met. I've had to endure half a lifetime without you.
An entire lifetime, more like.
A moment, my dear. Do not sabotage me, Shani. That would not be fair.
Fine, fine. I'll stay out of your way.
I'm sorry. I'm literally picturing, like, picture for a moment that I'm Geralt inside of him, right? And so Geralt is just here, just like... Yeah, let me get the glasses off. Just... Ugh. And he's just doing this whole time, like, really? Really? Oh my god, what am I... What did he just say? You know, that's just... I just picture Geralt is like that this entire time. Ah.
Did it hurt terribly, my sweet?
What?
When you fell from the heavens?
Why, Sarah.
Shh, my dear. No more words. I shall make a true lady of you. Arm in arm, we'll grace the finest salons.
Salons? But really? Actual salons? In Novigrad? And how...
In Novigrad, Oxenfurt, why, in Kovir as well. Wherever you wish. Let's make haste to the barn. There, everything will be made clear.
Leslie, step away from the man.
Who the devils are you?
We're the Mrs. Brothers, and we swore to our da on his dying day we'd keep those of your ilk far from her.
I'm actually quite torn on this one. Let's see what 2 brings.
Easy, lads. No harm done. An innocent conversation with an innocent miss. The kind weddings are for.
We all heard your innocent talk. Wanted to draw her to the barn. What were you gonna do there? Talk some more?
Naturally. We would speak. But first, we would dance. Now tell me, what sort of fool wouldn't want to dance with a beauty like her?
Find another beauty, or I'll dance with you myself, just after I grab me a fence post.
Geralt, you saw it. I tried to resolve this peacefully, but they wish to fight. Suits me just fine. Sounds like wonderful fun. Fence boards right over there for the taking.
Fear eat your stones.
That's the last ploughing straw. No one accuses Vladimir von Everek of cowardice.
Calm down, boys. Don't want to fight you.
Too damn bad, because we're gonna tan your mutant freak hide.
That does it! Rah! Hey-ya!
Show us what you got.
Hot damn, boy. You needn't ask me twice.
I mean...
Fence boards. The perfect weapon for sweaty-assed swineherds.
Perfect fit for your gob, you ploughing gentle fuck.
Never in my life have I reveled so fiercely. Step up. Who else wants a shave? Damned cretin creamed me. Embarrassing to take a licking from a boar. And with a maiden watching. Had enough, peasant spawn? Thought yourself a match for a Von Everek, a witcher? Away with you. Begone. I've tired of looking at your slack-jawed yaps. Where to, my love? I was to turn you into a lady.
Geralt, you must explain I was not at fault. They lunged at me. Well, go on, chase her.
In your dreams.
There it is. You fucked up. She's gone. Is that how you woo the ladies?
You always that charming in life?
It worked. More often than not.
Listen, tongue and fists on a leash from now on. Have your fun, but don't beat the wedding guests. With my hands.
Fine. I shall try. Uh-oh. Shani approaches. Unlikely to be happy, eh?
You made this mess, you do the explaining.
Oh, all right.
Your methods... quite unusual. To woo a woman by beating up her brothers. Creative. Wonder what else you have up your sleeve.
Eliminating potential obstacles, see? All part of my plan. Usually I take a few passing blows in the doing, and the young miss in question then swoons with pity, tends to my wounds.
So, what went wrong?
It's this damned malformed body. All sinews, and this mug? Were I to wear my own, oh, 'twould be another story altogether. The maidens always fell for my melancholy eyes, and the swagger in my scars. But I'll gladly try again. Just indicate a lass and...
You've proven everything amply. Let's just have fun, all right? After all, you haven't much time left.
Fine. I suppose you're right. Come then.
Hey, Enigma Machine. What's up? Okay, so I can still do the water thing, and I can still talk to Gaunter.
Kinks from one's bones. We must find more fun.
So let's go do this one, then we'll talk to Odim. And apparently there's an event in the attic. Hang on. I suddenly hear a voice speaking to me from within my mind. It says, "Go to the attic, my son." Let's see, how do I get up? How do I get up?
Look there, Shani. The ladder begs us to scamper to its top, where we can converse.
Then let us scamper.
But how so? Just like that?
There aren't that many ways to scale a ladder.
Whoops.
Let's sit. Come now.
Just like that?
Oh, I'm all ears. What would you have us talk about? I'm sorry, converse about.
Well, when it comes right down to it...
Yes?
You see, the thing is...
Come now, spit it out. Yes, just as I thought. Come, it's time we returned.
That was actually hysterical. And we'll take the cow card. Well, congratulations, Enigma Machine. At least I hope so. Should I be giving you condolences? And I hope you've been enjoying your weekend and your recuperating time.
But what's just as you thought? I find you intimidating.
Loudly lowing cows only ever give a little milk.
I've only ever dealt with simple maids, whereas you're a surgeon. I believe I was right not to just take you and... well, I was right to take the more romantic approach.
Oh, all right. Now come. We were to enjoy ourselves. Let's do just that. Romantically.
So the donkey is, that's the spitting image of that.
Seen what he pulled from the water? An old pot?
Mayhaps his lass wears pots for shoes, in case she can't find a privy.
You
was supposed to fish out my slipper. I'm at a dance now with one foot bared. 'Tis a wedding. I've got to wear slippers.
Oh, look, dearie, I did. Take there. Muck must have sucked it deep in.
Well, poke your paws in there. Rut for it. Rubbish game.
What's all this then?
They're playing slip in for a slipper. Never heard of it?
Never. Us gentry folk have other diversions. What's the object?
Maid tosses a shoe in the water. A man's got to dive in and fish it out.
Look, mutations don't just turn them barren as a mule, they give them an ass's ears to boot. Must have some other horse part hidden in his trousers.
Isn't that technically a compliment?
And once I retrieve it?
Well, your maid'll be pleased as punch. Or it means you're a gallant beau. And awful handy.
Is that all? No prize? Not even a kiss?
That depends on the miss in question. If she wants to give you a kiss, she will. But she ain't obliged. Oh my.
Yes,
there's
yes.
more to come.
He's very gorgeous. We all know.
Prime game. Shani, your slipper. I shall prove I dive to any depth for you.
I'd like to think that he, in lore, he probably stripped all the way down, rather than just to his towel or whatever. Not because I want that to happen, but because that's totally what he would do. I mean, come on. There's a mod for that. That is not the thing that would surprise me. We are, in fact, in Redania, Magister.
Just when you think you know all the plowfolk's customs, they surprise you with slippers.
So now the shock's faded. Perhaps you could stop talking and fish out my shoe, which I so unfortunately lost in the pond.
Oh, come on. There's more... Okay, hang on. There's more shoes down here? Of course they turned down the range on my senses. Of course they do. Jackasses. And it doesn't show up on the mini-map, which sucks. So I have to actually look for them. Ugh! Having to look for things is awful. 0 out of 10. Worst game ever made. I'm pretty sure she is incredibly cognizant that this isn't Geralt. Especially since she picked up on it basically immediately. There, one of these has got to be hers.
Damn mucky, that pond. Sank in up to my armpits.
I see no amount of silt could keep you from my shoe. And all the other shoes ever tossed in the lake.
Always better to do a bit more and even gain naught by it than to do too little and face regret.
Oh, that's quite the theory.
One founded in practice. For instance, I can now approach the owner of any of these slippers, and she will lift up her skirt and bend over. To don it, of course.
Ah, so generous. And clever.
Just figuring that out? I believe I've earned a kiss.
Well, find the owners of those shoes. One might agree.
Don't be jealous, Shani. That was but a jest. I don't give a piffle about the others. Oh well. Recognize this, Cinderella.
My shoe?
Now extend your supple leg and let me slide it in. That is, on.
Thank you.
See how quick he come up with her shoe.
Oh my god.
Like a good swim. Now we must do something else. Something wild.
Losing shoes in lakes has ever been much of a problem at my place.
Thick you are. It ain't about fishing up shoes. It's about what else he might do a proper job of.
Ahem. Let's go talk to one of the most terrifying and powerful creatures in the entire setting, shall we?
That gingerbread's naught but flour, honey, eggs and spices.
I beg to differ, madame. You omit the most important ingredient in gingerbread. Time.
What sort of balderdash is he feeding them?
Quiet. If you listen, you'll learn.
Time? What do you mean, time? An ingredient?
Time gives the proper consistency. Time provides that ideal crunch on the outside, the delicious moistness within.
So how much of this time does it take?
That you will not find in any recipe. You must surrender to your senses. Let them lead you so close to time, you touch it. Let you sniff it, stroke it even. Time. Time is the key.
Now, what I love about that is, A, he's actually exactly correct. Proper timing is extremely critical to baking. Too little and too much are both pretty bad. B, yes, I'll take how to say innocuous sayings incredibly terrifyingly for 500, Alex.
Greetings, Shani. I must introduce myself. Gaunter Odin. My, what a lovely dress. The color suits you exquisitely.
Thanks. I've heard a lot about you, but no one mentioned cooking. Seem to know quite a bit about gingerbread.
Quite simply, I know a lot about everything.
Is that so? What do you know about me?
That you were ever the worst brother, that you envied Olgierd from your earliest days, and always wished to be just like him.
You notice he went straight for the balls on that one.
Wait, you can see me? That is, me, Vladimir von Everec?
Of course. Why ever wouldn't I?
Because I'm in Geralt's body, the Witcher's, and...
Just who would I be if the true nature of things remained hidden from me? Someone like you, meaning no one.
I wouldn't want to get blood on my damsel's dress, but insult me once more and...
You shan't touch me. I know you'd very much like to act like your brother in this situation, demonstrate how manly you are, but let's be honest, nothing will come of it. You're simply not him, no matter how much you wish you were.
Rubbish. I never envied my brother.
Of course you did. He was a shining role model. Olgierd ran faster, shot truer, lifted greater weights. Olgierd learned to read first, although you tried your damnedest to beat him. As you grew up, he had his pick of girls, whereas you made do with the leftovers.
I apologize, Shani. I'm rather sorry you have to hear this.
Stop fooling yourself. Shani isn't here for you. She's here for Geralt. Even after death, you still play the pale imitation. Oh, by the way, Olgierd's a much better dancer.
You lying dog. That's my brother. I loved him.
The question is, were you as dear to him as he seems to have been to you?
He made a hero of me in death. In my last battle, in truth, I was far from valiant. 5 came at me. I'll not deny it, I fled. I hid in a cellar, yet they found me. Cornered me like a rat. But Olgierd told everyone I flew at all 5. Took them on all at once. Alone.
I'm rather curious how you know all this.
Olgierd visits my grave. Often. Pours a drink for me. Gets soused himself. And talks of the old times. He cannot see me, but I hear his every word.
Well, Perhaps one day he'll say something very surprising.
What are you getting at?
I shan't disturb you any longer. Have a splendid time, for time is short.
Shani, I'm sorry.
It's all right. That was... oh, forget him. We're here to enjoy ourselves, right? Let's go. The night's still young.
All lies, not a word of truth.
Don't let it bother you.
Olgierd was not just my brother. More importantly, he was my best mate.
Let it go. I believe you. And now revel on. Time won't wait.
We've already debated the nature of Gontar O'Dim, but that cutscene is an excellent insight into his personality. Because, like with all the rest of what he does, he could have been doing that for multiple different reasons. Now, Kay already gave his theory, and it's a very valid one, that he was actively here trying to muddle things, just to screw it over, just because, just for fun. Just because it's the kind of thing that he enjoys doing. I don't buy that personally. But there's several other possible interpretations here, and I'm going to share one that just kind of came to me. It's kind of a in-between of Kay's theory and my own original thoughts. I think it's more like he looks at Vladimir, and he basically... how do I phrase this? You remember how the first time we streamed this game, I was speaking positively about the Baron, the Bloody Baron, and several people in chat got very upset about that because they thought I was trying to whitewash him. And I then had to be like, guys, no. My whole point, both then and when we did the stream this time, was that the Bloody Baron was a multifaceted character. That he was not completely evil any more than he was completely good. It is my opinion that what Gontar O'Dim is doing here is something a little bit similar to what those people in chat were doing. I know that sounds strange, but it's basically trying to remind everyone present, including Vladimir himself, that Vladimir was a bad person, that he was a raider, that he was a bandit, that he was someone who went around killing and destroying and taking. You know, I said it earlier, and I meant it with sincerity. Raiders deserve to die. Like, people who really follow the raider mentality, they produce nothing and they take a great deal from reality. So, I've already said it. I feel like he has such an utter and total disdain for the man. He wanted to just smash him down in the face. Not just because it would satisfy him, but to try and ensure that the other two people listening, Shani and Geralt, were made aware of just how pathetic that he really was. That's just my take on that. And it does also reflect on Olgierd. That's very true as well. Given what will happen later. And again, don't mistake me for trying to whitewash Gontar. I think what he just did, he did out of a sense of enjoyment. No, I take that back. You could argue that he did it out of a sense of enjoyment, but I've changed my mind as I say that. I think he did it out of a sense of satisfaction. Because I understand that sense of satisfaction very well. Have you guys ever heard my story about the perfect revenge over in World of Warcraft? I'm not a particularly vengeful person, but when I have the capacity to really defeat someone by not actually lowering myself to their level, to just utterly and completely crush them, not physically, not hurting them, but to prove that I am beyond them, that is very satisfying. And I have a weird feeling that Gontar O'Dim could have a similar mentality there. Yeah, of course you can, Glorious Barbarian. What, can't you? In other words, that... I don't know.
I'll leave you for a moment. As a bridesmaid, I need to be by the bride for the capping.
Go on, Shani. I'll manage fine alone.
I mean, I do have a spoon. I take it back, though. See, this is really interesting to debate. It's very simple, Glorious Barbarian. All you have to do is Alt-Tab. Funnily enough, I actually wish it didn't do this, but it's useful for a lore run purposes. Not that this is a lore run. See, I'm finding myself sitting here thinking, I can't bring myself to call someone like Odim petty. I can't. I don't think what he did was petty. But the way he did that is very telling. Like, just absolutely smashing him down in the way that would actually get to him. Anybody can punch someone. Anybody could stab someone. How many people can hurt you in a way that really hurts? And that's what Gontar Odim was demonstrating there. He cut as deep and as core as he possibly could have with words. With knowledge, actually, while we're on the subject. Now, I want to add something else here, if I may. He just slices straight to the core of what worries him and what causes him issues or concepts. But what I find interesting is Vladimir had a response for that. My brother still comes. My brother loved me. My brother told everyone that I died a hero. We do know, with certainty, actually, that Olgierd does love his brother, even after his passing. That is a thing that we are aware of. And I point that out because I have a weird feeling Gontar Odim wasn't fully aware of that. And I know this sounds like a weird time to point this out, but it goes back to my comment on how I don't think he's actually omniscient. I think he has a lot of information. I think he can spy on people or read people's minds or whatever, but he doesn't know everything. He cut to the heart of Vladimir, but Vladimir actually had something to fight back with, verbally speaking. And I think that Gontar didn't actually know that, legitimately wasn't aware of that. Well, I agree he probably wants people to think he's omnipotent or omniscient. I mean, that's the Wild Hunt all over again, isn't it? Trying to play to the pageantry to make them seem more than they are. That's actually something I mentioned earlier, Huthor, as one of the theories as to what he is. To be clear, I don't think he's omniscient. I know it's a possible option. I don't buy it for a second. I don't. Anyways, because he's about to do something arguably worse than what he just did. So let's just let this play out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this night I've tasted of life's delights so fiercely, I've decided to make a speech.
Geralt, there's no need.
No need? Why, there's every need. Till now, I'd always considered peasant jollities unworthy of a gentleman. For tell me, who among you would rub shoulders with swineherds if born a noble? I delighted in the beauty of buxom farm wenches, of course, and indeed still do. Given more time, I'd prove this to each and every maiden here. Farmhands are a different story. Never took any note of them. Had one or two groom my mounts. They did this well, but were never worthy of conversation. Nay, not even if you paid me. For one must live by certain principles, am I right? But this day has changed all. Beneath the muck and dung, a peasant is a man. I understand this, thanks to you. You've still shite all to talk about, but I don't mind anymore. For this, I thank you, and say, you are well loved.
It's almost midnight. time for the capping.
Wait, I'm not done.
Oh, yes, you are. All the maids join in the capping.
You're a maid too, Shani.
Midnight chime has struck. The capping times are come. What thoughts in young hearts prance? What dreams make young blood run? Be they nice, be they vice, of jestily or lordly stance, out they'll come in this hour's dance.
Toast the lovely corporal, then give her a few weeks, and we'll toast their lovely bairn with its pale and puffy cheeks. Don't you
Quick side note. One of the things I find interesting about Hearts of Stone is how many more pre-rendered cutscenes they use. This is in-engine, technically, but this is a pre-recorded cutscene in-engine, and we've already seen several of these for the heist quest as well. I just think it's interesting they leaned on these a bit more for this. Or maybe they didn't lean on them more, just higher density. I don't know.
Whoever caught the garland shall be next to wed.
Oh, I noticed, Kay. But you can see the difference, can't you? And honestly, that would be an extremely easy thing to change. All you'd have to do is do 2 versions of the cutscene. I don't know why they go for the palm. They always go for the palm.
That really necessary?
It came rushing back in a torrent. How we caroused at Olgierd's wedding. I couldn't resist. Had to pen a few words. Will you give him the letter?
I will.
Thanks. You're a good chap, Witcher. Dull as dirt, but good. A lovely custom. Blushing maids, twirling in dance. Their hair swirling freely, their bodices undone. They're bouncing.
Will you stop?
Did you see it? Shani caught the garland. She'll be next to marry as peasant superstition has it.
Maybe. Doesn't matter. It's past midnight. Time for you to go back to the crypt.
I can't. I'm not finished here.
It's past midnight. You can take off those lovely ears. Only if you want to, of course.
Lovely as they are, think I'll put them away for now.
Is Vladimir's ghost gone?
You see? She asks after me. Misses me already.
I'm here, my ever-loving tulip. That kiss as we danced made my head so light. A team of hellish stallions could not tear me away before I receive one more. Or 2 more. Or as many as you'll give.
You seem to have enjoyed yourself. I'm glad.
A kiss. I knew it would end this way. An end that is but a beginning.
No, it's just an end. It's after midnight. Your time has come.
Ah, we needn't fret such trifles. Death's not come to claw me back, so why not continue our revels?
What's Geralt think about that? You gave your word.
Shani, darling, I'm dead. Can't expect too much from a corpse.
Vladimir von Everick, go back whence you came. Please.
Now, I hate to point this out, but you'll notice that Gaunter didn't get involved until he basically said, no, I'm staying. And he also asked nicely first.
Stay out of this.
Stop! I beg you! Stop!
Get ye hence, or I'll take you with me, and your mouldy crypt will look like paradise in comparison. The choice is yours.
Don't torture him.
I promise he'll not die.
Gods, what is this?
Didn't have to make him suffer.
Of course I needn't have. But I could.
I hope you didn't hurt him.
I disposed of a pest. There was no need for you to suffer his cheek any longer. Geralt had finished his task, you see, so...
Yes, I know. As soon as he finishes one task, he needs to rush off to the next.
Who knows? Perhaps this time will be different. I saw you looking at each other, and it just so happens I also know the history you share.
You do? How?
Shani, darling, would you ask an eagle how it knows how to fly? Regardless, what matters is Vladimir von Everett will bother you no more.
Yeah, it's not terrifying at all. And also, you notice the oblique reference to hell there, right? Or the equivalent thereof.
I'd like to stay longer, but...
Don't make excuses, Geralt. I'm not angry. A witcher has to ply his trade, follow his path. As for me, well, perhaps I expected too much of this wedding. Got the wrong impression.
Not sure I understand.
Never mind. I should find Aldona. I am her bridesmaid, after all.
No, Magister. No, 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 no.
Ah, there it is. The face of a man who's failed to understand a woman.
You understand her?
Of course. Women are simple. The problem is that men are hopeless fools. Your friend will now make a show of being hurt, pick her some flowers, or bring her a drink. She'll get over it in a snap.
Rather manage without your advice, thank you.
She cares for you. You have feelings for her. Don't overthink it. Surrender to spontaneous honesty. Nothing more beautiful in human relationships. You needn't end like Aldona and Jonas. Besotted fools bound by a contract they'll never escape. Seize the night. Seize your chance. Enjoy one another. That's it. Have fun.
What is Odim? That's a good question. Yeah, you'll also notice... I don't think he can see into the future, Bragwin. I think that was just a prediction. And if he has any ability to see into people's minds or souls or whatever, then it would be very easy for him to take a peek at the two people and be like, yeah, that's not working out. Like, that would only take a surface-level scan, to use such terminology. Now, Huthor asks a fascinating question. Does it bother me that they have never actually clarified him to us? Kind of no. But it's hard to explain why. I've actually talked about this concept a lot. One of my biggest problems... Oh, speaking of it, sorry, Fuyukiando asked about the slashes, so take a drink. One of the biggest things that bothers me is when they don't clarify something, and then that's it, like the end, right? What is the white frost? You know? But I like it better when they clarify it enough that we basically have a whole picture. It's just that we all have like 5 whole pictures, if that makes any sense. You know, it's basically a Rorschach blot kind of a situation. I know that sounds like a weird way to put that, but to me, something like Gontar Odim is a Rorschach blot. I see a cohesive picture there. But as I've said many times, several other people have other interpretations of that make perfect sense as well. The White Frost is the 3rd Lich King. Oh, God! Ah! Now we know what he's been planning this whole time. So hang on, let's check the character journal. We must cheer her up. It's the only way. Down. What I also find funny is the one and only time you can ask him straightly and directly, to his face, what are you, is the only time he says, no, I'm not going to tell you that. I think that you would be burdened by that knowledge. So yeah, we read the journal. There we go. Now we pick the berries, which is funny because you don't actually need the berries for that. She said that earlier. But whatever, as they say.
Rowan. Shani mentioned she used to weave the berries into necklaces. Pretty, I guess. Thing is, will it cheer her up?
What happens if you take her wine? Oh, right, she throws up on you.
Quite romantic.
I remember that. He's the architect. Now, here's a question for you, since we're talking about Gaunter here. What is your most, like, what do you want him to be? Like, if you had a choice, again, kind of going back to our White Frost discussion, the writers have reached out to you, Uncle Vernon's dead, and they're telling you, we need to write exactly what Gaunter O'Dim is. We may never show it on camera, but we want to write and design what he really is. What do you write? What is he really? Under the hood. So Vigilance says a djinn gone wrong, which makes sense, actually. Nerozaz says a very old source, which actually also makes a lot of sense. The Loa of Time. Well, that makes no sense at all. Everyone stab upon a time, really quick. A force of nature. Basically like an elemental, like a classic concept of an elemental. Okay, I'm with that. Kay says, literally evil incarnate. Yeah, I'm with that. And Ahriman, as in the Zoroastrian and Ahriman. I don't actually know about that. I know what Zoroastrianism is, but I don't know much about the Ahriman thing. The devil. You know, the classic. Several people say the devil. The capital T, or whatever you want to call that. A very, very powerful demon. Okay, I'm with it. We do know demons are a thing. Odin. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, and you didn't actually elaborate, and I was very curious about that. Not 100, so not true reality warp or hazardous, but like a reality stretcher, maybe, to use a bad analogy. A demonic entity that has moved beyond wanting souls and is now fascinated by humans. I like to think that he's fascinated by humans in general. He has several traits of effectively being a romantic, which is strange when you think about it. But also kind of lines up with most of the other pieces we see from him, at least in my mind. An angel of death. Do angels exist in this setting? I actually don't know. We know demons exist, although demons more like a classification than a species, from what I understand. No known angels, okay. I mean, we do have a multiverse to play with. Although someone mentioned something earlier, and I actually agree with this idea 100%. I like the idea that for all of the terror and power that Gaunter O'Dim has, that he is localized. This is going to sound strange, but in Kingdom Hearts, hear me out, I swear this is connected. In Kingdom Hearts, one of the story points and narrative points is that you can have tremendous power within your world. But the moment you leave your world, you basically don't have access to the same levels of power at all. You're nowhere near as strong. So, you know, you take the genie in Aladdin's world is a genie, But the moment you take the genie out of Aladdin's world, he's just a low-level mage, right? That's how I like to think of Gaunter O'Dim. Supremely powerful here, but not anywhere else. God, that would be horrible hazardous. I'd actually rather that not be true, for reasons that should be self-apparent. He's a tool for what, I suppose, Loner? Or whom? That's true, Kira. He did specifically call her an angel as he was flirting. I'll go ahead and share my idea, my idea as well. My idea is kind of a mix of several of your ideas. First of all, I've always said this. I like the idea that he's a unique entity. That he's not a demon or a god or an angel or an elemental or whatever. That he is a truly unique entity. There's no other thing quite like him. I also like the idea that he is elemental. Not like a water elemental, but as in he is something that is... Well, actually, probably the best parallel would be calling him something like a Daedra. Now, even that's theory crafting, but in my own theory crafting, the Daedra are pins of reality. Each one of them holds up the tarp of reality, right? So, the idea that he is the thing of... I don't have a better word for this, of reflection. To me, he feels like the literal quintessential essence, concept of reflection. And the time thing, to me, feels a little bit more like something he picked up as a hobby. Something that fascinated him. Something that that was just absolutely engaging to him. But isn't actually something that he is. I don't think he is, for example, an element of time. But I do think he is an element of reflection. That he can look and see what things really are, and use what they are against them. This leads to my final theory about him, and this is what I actually think, and this is what I would write if I was in charge. I think his power level is directly related to whatever he's reacting to or interacting with. That what he can do is totally defined by what he's around, if that makes any sense. So in other words, he is not truly supremely powerful, not actually omniscient or omnipotent or anything like that, but that he can do some seriously high-tier stuff depending on who and what he's interacting with. A form of a parasite, yes. It would also make it interesting for him to... To me, it also helps to explain one of the reasons why he likes to go and find interesting people. Not just because they're interesting to him, because it's something that he likes and something that he finds enjoyable, but because that allows him to do more. Now, you can go ahead and take that and throw that all out the window. That's all up to you. But like I said, that's my take on him. Now, based on that, this leads us back to our earlier concept. Does he limit himself to the rules, or is he limited to the rules? I've actually heard a friend of mine described this very, very well. And I love this description. If you see a stop sign, you don't actually have to stop. Right? Like if you're driving and there's a stop sign, you don't have to stop. You probably should, and there's probably a reason that that stop sign is there, but you don't actually have to stop. However, you do have to breathe. Now, I use that distinction because... but you don't, Hazardous. You do not have to stop. But you do have to breathe if you choose to keep existing. You are required to breathe. Now, I bring this up because this, to me, is the key distinction between whether or not Gaunter, whether or not O'Dim is looking at reality and his rules and his, lawyering and all that as if it's a stop sign, or as if it's something he has to do. He is actually bound to do. Like he has to keep doing it. Breathing, right? To use my own analogy. And like I said, this is the biggest debate point I've talked to people about with regards to this expansion. And I've heard lots of arguments on both sides of this. Okay, I could see that, Mihawk. That does line up with what I've learned about Odin thanks to the God of War 4 run. No, not from the game. You guys kept talking about Norse stuff, so I learned a bit. So what do you think? I'm going to go and just kind of sit here for a second. What do you think? Honest question. Do you think he is limited, or do you think he limits himself? Because it's one of the two. Now, I've actually already given you my opinion on this one, actually. My opinion is that he is limited. He actually does have to play by the rules because of the reflection thing. Because there are literally boundaries and limitations on what he can do based on things. In fact, if I were to be so bold, I would say that his deals, his bargains, are his way of stretching out his limits and doing more than he otherwise would have the ability to do. Based on my take on things. Now, Yudachi asked a good question. Why would he limit himself? Now, we actually talked about this earlier. You ever play a board game? You don't have to follow the rules when playing a board game. But the generally accepted logic is that if you follow the rules, you enjoy the board game more. And that's the theory. That's the idea of why he would be limiting himself. For the same reason you don't cheat when you're playing a game. Yeah, there's still at least major points we'll need to address with him. But I figured this is a good time to talk about it. Because, I mean... Well, if he is limiting himself, Loner, then yeah, he would metaphorically be able to flip the table if he wants to. Because you could do that in real life. If you're sitting down at a board game with your mates and you just get really pissed off or you're not in the mood, or you can just flip the table. That's something you are capable of doing. But like I said, I like my take on it better, that he is actually limited and he's using these meandering rules to basically stretch his limits further. And of course, he's having fun with it. Like, the one thing I stand firmly behind as far as my theories on Gaunter is that he enjoys this. That he loves doing this. And he loves having style doing it. That's a good way to put that, Brada Fraser. It's like doing a hardcore run. Or a speed run. Or a challenge run. Single character challenge, Final Fantasy VI. You're not actually limited to do that. You can go play as many characters as you want, but you decide and choose to limit yourself for increased enjoyment. It's not... I know that sounds like such a strange thing, but honestly, if we explain it in terms of games, I think it's very easy to understand why someone would want to limit themselves. Why do you play any game on hard mode, or with any challenge, or with any speed run, or with some kind of role-playing limitation? I'll give you an example. When I play Oblivion, I usually, if I ever become a vampire, I make it a point to only drink the blood of women. Now, there's no real reason for that. Nothing in the game forces me to do that. And in fact, there's actually plenty of ways to completely bypass that point. But as a limiting challenge, I find it to be more interesting. It makes it more of a consequence becoming a vampire in the game. And that makes it more fun. For me. Now, whose board game is he playing? Anyways. So is he limiting himself, and is he limited because of his choice? Good question, Magister. Again, this is why I'm asking this question of you, and of you guys. Nah, this isn't just a game. There's something funny to me about the fact that the word game is literally repeated twice on the screen over there. Technically 3 times if you count this gameplay, and 4 times if you count this gameplay. But those are acronyms, so that doesn't count. Do we count Gwent? It's 5 times. You get my point. Either way, I think we could, even as of this moment, even just now, I think we can easily codify a positive for Gontar O'Dim. I mean, come on. In fact, let's just go ahead and get these out of the way. Plus, plus. And where's story? There's story. Why is story below? Hang on, let me move a few things around here. Story should be above. There we go. And plus, plus. And plus, actually. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's right. So we're going to go ahead and give a plus for... I'll write more about this later. Whoops. Hang on. Hang on. There. So, in case you're missing, that's a plus to story for the heist quest, a plus to story for the wedding quest, a plus to gameplay for the heist quest, and a plus to gameplay for the wedding quest. And I stand by all 4 of those pluses. Oh, nice, Mihawk. And yeah, one last thing, by the way. And this kind of ties into what Mihawk said, and this kind of ties into what Bragwin said. I firmly believe that Gontar is one of the most clear distinctions of the knowledge theme going throughout the whole game. Because his whole shtick is knowledge. His whole arc and idea and concept is all about knowing things and understanding things, knowing how to find what to do to find Ciri, knowing how to find Yennefer, knowing the truth about Vladimir's thoughts, knowing the truth about Geralt's feelings for Shani, and blah, 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 blah. Knowledge. It's such a huge point for him. What are you linking me here, Taito? What's that from? The one on the left. Oof. So hang on, let's save, because I don't actually want to sleep with Shani.
Excuse me.
Sinking City? I don't actually know what that is.
Lingering like flies around ship instead of doing some honest work.
Sure.
A lad clutching stems is a lad caught at mischief. Never think to offer blue.
Still here? Thought you had to meet Olgierd.
You and I see each other so rarely. Figured Olgierd could wait till morning. Smile, Shani.
Oh, you remembered I liked the Rowan.
Remember a lot of things about you. Wedding's still in full swing, but your face, I'd say you were at a funeral. Why so sad?
Sad? Not really. It's just... After I caught the Garland, I realized something. The years are flying by, yet all I ever do is study, pump stomachs, and reattach limbs. All alone.
You've got friends. Me, for one.
In that case, let's drink to our friendship.
To friendship.
And to definitely not having an entire romance arc back in Witcher 1.
Drinks got into our minstrels. Horribly off-key.
Let's go for a walk.
Good idea.
So how long do you think it's going to take for our beard to grow back? Because we still got Toussaint to do after this.
Did you enjoy the wedding?
Not half bad. Might have even enjoyed myself if I hadn't had to argue with a madman's ghost, be his puppet. Gotta admit, though, thanks to him, I did experience a lot of things I might have missed otherwise.
Mean chasing a dog through the woods, or brawling, fence board in hand?
Forgetting something. There was also a kiss.
True. Though that was so clearly Vladimir. I nearly forgot you were involved at all.
His will, sure, but my body felt everything. Reminded me of the old times.
Vizima, you mean? Oh, I thought you'd forgotten our whole Catriona story.
Epidemics long forgotten, sure. But the romantic bits in that adventure? Don't plan to forget those.
You needn't worry about our finances, sir. My workshop, business is booming.
Good. I'm relieved to hear it. See, coin's tied to Torrent, but don't tell the old battle-axe. She'd be furious if she learned to let it slip.
Never you worry, sir. My lips are sealed as the grave. Us menfolk need to stick together.
Sir. Enough of that. I'm Vassy. But you can call me Dar.
Oh, thank you, Dar. I feel honoured. Let's drink on it.
Seems the families are bonding.
A bride's father and his son-in-law? Stiff at first, but add drink and they bond or slap each other silly.
I was afraid the wedding wouldn't happen at all.
Mean the differences in wealth?
Mm-hmm. Jonas's family didn't consider Aldona worthy.
Clear they love each other, though. Parents usually give in if that's the case.
Oh, I don't know. My mother would never accept an unfit beau, even if I insisted I loved him, had chosen him.
I just had a horrible thought. Remind me to say something about Odim and contracts in a minute.
Doubt your mother's that unbending? You'd win her over, I'm sure.
I haven't managed to yet.
You only ever bring home fiddlers, jugglers, and witchers?
No, but she'd want me to choose someone wealthy, or with a good trade, well brought up.
Nothing wrong with that, is there?
I guess not, but it's hard to find one like that who's still even slightly amusing.
That's probably true.
Tell that to my mother. She actually thinks I should have found a husband at the academy. But I didn't. Ugh. I'm certain she thinks there's something horribly wrong with me.
Oh, please, Shani. It's the 13th century. Women don't go to the academy to find a husband. They go to learn, pursue their passion. You did that. I'm sure your mother appreciates it. You got a doctorate, have your own practice, been at the front lines many times. You're a good person. Not a thing wrong with you.
Really think so?
Yeah. Questions like that always make me feel weird. Of course I do.
The brave brothers.
Drank themselves stiff as the boards they tore from the fence.
Wonder where the sister is. Couldn't protect her from a cheeky 4-year-old in their condition.
If they hadn't intervened, you'd have gone for a tumble in the hay with her. She was willing, if you ask me.
That was Vladimir, not me, remember?
But pretend for a moment it had been you, and the situation had been different. Say you're at the wedding, and that very girl keeps glancing, smiling at you. Then she finally walks up, and you know exactly what she wants. What do you do?
I don't like either of those options. Like, we're not sleeping with her. It's not happening.
Huh. If Dandelion was around, and he usually is, I'd introduce her to him and walk off.
I don't believe that. You'd let the opportunity pass?
I don't need opportunities like that.
Changed your style.
Let's say I've grown choosy.
You say that as if you've already picked.
'Cause I have. Guess who?
Yennefer, maybe?
Gorgeous.
Been thinking about that kiss.
What kiss?
The one Vladimir planted on your lips, with my lips. Just wondering if it would have felt any different without him there.
That I cannot tell you.
Only one way to find out.
See, I think... I'll talk about this later. This might actually qualify as a story negative, though. And I mean that sincerely. Don't worry. I'll try to explain myself.
So, how'd it compare?
Hey, we've been agreeing so far, Huthor. Except on the Ashara thing. Although I'm really curious your thoughts on that one. I mean, that is kind of my point, Henson. I'll get into it more. Give me a second.
Honestly, completely different.
Better or worse?
Just impossible to compare. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe Vladimir was after more than a kiss. Said so openly, in fact.
All true. He was very direct, I'll give him that. Which, on occasion, has its advantages.
You're right. Can save a lot of time.
So, how do you stand today, Geralt? Have some time to waste with me? Or would you rather go back now?
Love to stay, I would. But we ought to get back to the wedding.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's best.
Penny for your thoughts?
Just thinking that friends should stay friends.
Mm-hmm. My feeling too.
I have a lot to think about. Alone. So I'm not going back to the wedding. Not really fond of watching drunks stagger around, anyway.
Shani, wait. Before you go, need to ask you a favor.
Yes?
It's about Olgierd. Seems a mysterious man. Can't escape the impression his story's more complicated than I thought. Could you look into it? See if you can learn something?
Sure. Be glad to.
Thanks. Be seeing you.
Yes. See you later, Geralt.
So, let me explain why I think this deserves a negative. First and foremost, as Kay and several people in chat have pointed out, it is entirely possible, and indeed we've already done so at this point, to have already picked your love interest by this point, Triss or Yen, and or both, actually. But that you get my point, right? There's no option here to be like, I'm taken. Now, you might be like, well, maybe he doesn't care. Not only is Geralt an old-fashioned romantic who, by my opinion, does actually care, especially if he actually legitimately has decided to settle down with someone, but more to the point, they already gave us that option. That's one of that we could say that to Kira. You remember that? All the way back in Velen? So, no, they should have given us the option to just be like, look, I'm sorry. I'm kind of taken. Whether you're with Triss or with Yennefer. Point 2. The game shoves you in this direction hard. Everything from the moment you start this quest, when you first go to her office and the soldiers are there, all the way up to the cutscene we just saw, everything is constantly shoving you in the direction of, hey, you want to be with Shani? And it's slanted so hard it kind of... It's too pushy, basically. You know what I mean? Like, way too pushy. And problem 3. And this is arguably the biggest one. It doesn't mean anything. There's no way to make this your long-term relationship. In other words, you can have sex with her, and then you move on. So Shani is not actually a relationship choice. In fact, if I am not mistaken, and I'm pretty sure I am not, if, for example, I had decided to go ahead and sleep with her, what would have happened is that in game, in terms of the game considering it, I would still be with Yennefer. So... Kira was a little different. Kira was literally just saying, hey, let's have fun. And she also was after something else. So, for those 3 points, for those 3 reasons, I think this deserves a story negative. Yes, I know, I also just gave this quest a story positive. Shut up. If you don't understand that I can give one quest a positive and a negative, you don't know the way my mind works very well. I mean, God's sakes. If I'm eating a pile of peas and some of the peas are a little bit bad or mushy, then it's a positive and a negative. Right? Now, the only reason I'm kind of hesitating here is I'm really curious what Huthor has to say on this. Oh, I suppose I should add point 4. Although this is something the whole game has been doing. It doesn't really acknowledge your choices in the previous games. I mean, I have to admit that is just kind of a thing, especially since one of the major story choices in Witcher 1 was, we live happily ever after with Shani. Why do we need to reload, Hastus? You have not explained yourself to me. All you've said is go sleep with her, and that's not a good enough argument. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pencil in the story negative here. There we go. Ah, that's the wrong thing. There we go. Yeah, Yorvith just being... Yorvith, God, I'm saying his name wrong. Just being completely absent is another of those things. I suppose that's fair, Sonashi. So, how do I phrase this? So, I've actually been sincerely considering giving a negative for the absence of Yorvith. That's actually an interesting topic to debate. I guess Huthor. I mean, even if I'm willing to give you that, which I'm not for the record, but even if I was willing to give you that, the other 2 points still make this a negative for me. So, because, see, to continue my point, Huthor, if I may address your point directly, because you do have a valid point. The... Kira, right? Kira just wanted to screw. She just wanted to have some fun. Okay. Now, if we take the same mentality to Shani, that she just wanted to screw, or wasn't sure what she wanted yet, and therefore then she requalifies the relationship, blah, 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 blah. You could say that, okay, it's acceptable for Kira for the same reason it's acceptable for Shani, and vice versa. Again, though, I have to point out that one of the very first things you could say to Kira is, I'm taken. I did that this very stream, actually, like 8 days ago, or whatever it is now. Whereas Shani, that's never comes up. It's never a dialogue option to just say, I'm taken. Which is why that second point really bothers me. It's even more bothersome because so much of Hearts of Stone in general takes into account where you're at in Witcher 3, right? As several people have pointed out, you can go and get Triss to get this looked at. Or you can go talk to Yennefer to get this looked at. Or you can talk to Regis to get this looked at. Or I know there's other things. I can't think of them right now. But they do this effort and work to make this slot in wherever, and yet they don't acknowledge the relationship flag, which is an actual flag. There are 2 of them. There's one for Triss, there's one for Yennefer. And if you pick both, then things go to horribleness, right? Yes, I've seen that cutscene on YouTube. So, yeah, Avallac'h. You could probably take the thing to Avallac'h. So the point being, for a game that... For an expansion, excuse me, let me be more specific. For an expansion that otherwise acknowledges your choices and your point in the story pretty well, the fact that it totally avoids that is just weird. Like, it's hard to even call that straight up bad. It's just a strange choice. You know? So, anyways. I also agree with what someone said in chat, Huthor, not to keep disagreeing with you, but as Upon a Time said there, Shani didn't look... Obviously, I don't know the mind of Shani. I'm not the writer, and she's not a real person, and I can't read her brain. But nothing about the way Shani was talking strikes me as someone who just wanted to go have fun. To just go screw. It sounded like she wanted someone to go... to be with more long-term, something more stable. Someone to bring home to her mother. Someone that she could go on to weddings with. Someone that she could actually have something, I'm just going to put this bluntly, more real with. More long-term. Nothing about her presentation struck me as the trading card relationship. That's a great way to put that. And if I could be so bold, even back in Witcher 1 that was true. Remember, there were 2, you could sleep with a lot of women in Witcher 1, but there are only 2 women you could actually be romantic with. Actually try to have something real with. Triss and Shani. God, I know, Alex. Oh my God. We're cheating our balls off too, Alex. So I guess I actually disagree, Huthor. Not with her choice, because she has the right to make that, and not with the core idea, because I was fine with the Kira situation. But because of the specific way this is handled, I actually don't think it applies the same way here. My opinion. I still stand by the negative, even if I was to give you that point wholly, which I am willing to at least assuage the idea on. That's the wrong word. At least sway towards the idea on. I still think the other 2 points make that a solid negative. Now, let's get a save in. What do you want me to do, Hazardous? Like, be specific. I have many saves to reload to. Odim and contracts. Let's talk about that really quick. I've always gotten the impression that as much as Odim loves his contracts, ultimately he likes more natural connections better. I know that sounds like a strange statement, but I feel like Gaunter Odim enjoys it when he doesn't have to have a writ law saying XYZ, right? I know that sounds like a strange way to put that. I'm phrasing this so wrong. But I bring this up because you'll notice that he praised the idea of Geralt and Shani enjoying themselves for no other reason than that they liked each other, versus the wedding couple to be, who are bound by a contract. And he predicts will not exactly have a wonderful future together. And he's probably right. In other words, that he would... one of the reasons I think he likes Geralt is that he doesn't really need a contract with someone like Geralt. He doesn't need to rules lawyer Geralt like he does with Olgierd. I mean, he had to rope Geralt in to work for him. But what he did not have to do was continue to just work his way through legalese in order to make things happen. In short, I think Gaunter likes it when things just kind of work naturally rather than him having to force them. And thus, his comment about Shani and Geralt. But anyway, so let's see how long ago it was. Jeez, let's just try this one and see how bad this is. That's true. He is totally cool with doing just straight verbal agreements with Geralt, which he doesn't do with virtually anyone else that we see. Granted, we only see him interact with a couple other people. Good night, Corrales, and good night, Loner. Have some good ones. So... Nope, this is right after. Okay, so that was right after. So let's go back here. So, oh, this is, Jesus. Okay, hang on. So that was this one. So let's try, oh geez, the last save was 10 minutes before that. Let's see what happens here. I keep wanting to say Shanti. I'm not actually sure why. Is there a character named Shanti in fiction? S-H-A-N-T-I. Okay, so this isn't too far back, really. Especially if we skip cutscenes.
Still.
Probably because I stood still for too long.
Wedding.
If I were to guess.
You got
skip.
Well,
You'll have to tell me when to stop skipping, by the way.
Not got it.
Mean.
Forget.
You needn't worry about good.
You know, this may sound like a strange comment, Huthor, but I've never liked that argument. Like, I've heard several viewers over the years say, "Ah, that's what I mean, Shantae," over in Saints Row. You're right. That's probably exactly what I'm thinking of. I've heard several people say, "Well, I mean, this is your show, and you could score it how you want to," and something about that always rubs me the wrong way. I mean, you're right, but this is going to sound like a strange statement, but I wouldn't stream it if I didn't want your input. You know what I mean? I would just do it, like I used to, actually, and I stopped doing because it was just me laying down this is the absolute lore law, and I didn't like that. I wanted the feedback. I wanted the input. I wanted the interaction. I mean, right? Or was it Sean? Oh, God, now I'm getting them all confused. Hang on. I think there's even another one. Give me a second. Because you're right. Shantae is the genie, and Shandi is from some Saints Row. I was also kind of mentally getting Shuri involved in that one.
Parents usually give in if that's the case.
Oh, I agree with that too, Huthor, weirdly enough. It's okay. Skip. Flirt. Shani's super attractive. Let's go for a random night of sex for no reason.
Wonder.
We'll do this one. Oh my God, you're super amazing. Please have sex with me. I'm Geralt.
The one.
For some reason, I keep thinking you're a mage, even though you're not.
Correct. You're right. Promised you this, and I...
Sounds...
Interesting is what interesting does.
The sound effect from the kiss is still playing. Did you hear that? It finally stopped.
Rats. Pier's taken.
Got a feeling it's about to free up.
Hang on a second. So I need to stop skipping. Oh, okay.
How did you know?
I'm clairvoyant.
Practically full.
Be ashamed to let it go to waste.
Besides, we leave it here, a very drunk person could find it, drink themselves into even more trouble. And I swore a solemn oath. First of all, do no harm.
Wait, they have the oath in the virtual world? Funnily enough, I'll take that as a compliment, Mind Bless, but yeah, it is an enormous amount of work. Okay, so we're in the boat. Then Gontor Dim shows up, he starts taking pictures. Then she throws up on us.
Row me to the moon.
Gotta fly to get to the moon.
You're dead wrong. Look, it's right there, in the middle of the lake.
Okay, that's cute. The moon's right there.
What are you doing?
What one usually does on the moon.
What do you do on the moon? Don't answer that question. And then Jaws comes out. A honeymoon? So then we're just going to skip this part. You collect Olgierd's soul on the moon. That's true! You do!
Awake already?
For a while now. Did you know you've gained 27 new scars since we last saw each other?
Keeping count?
Mm-hmm. I do that sometimes.
Did we make it to the moon?
Forgotten already?
No. Not the sort of thing you forget.
Exactly.
Sound like you wish you could.
No. I certainly won't forget that. And I definitely don't regret it. But I do need to sort it all out in my head. Alone.
Shani, wait. Before you go, need to ask you a favor.
Yes?
It's about Olgierd. Seems a mysterious man. Can't escape the impression his story's more complex.
Okay, so skip.
Thanks.
Skip. That's funny, Taito. Well, we're not letting that sit, obviously. I mean, Yennefer would kill us. So let's undo time here. Which finger do I snap for undoing time? Because it's kind of a destructive act, but it's kind of an altering act, too. I'm actually torn. Both? I mean, we could just do both. That's a really weird question, Consulate, that I'm probably not going to answer. Oh yeah, you mentioned that she goes there. I guess we could go. Where's the tomb? Yeah, I am physically incapable of snapping with my ring finger. I'm just gonna admit that. Sure. Good night, Neurozos. Ah. Yeah, that's not... Actually, the ring finger would be this hand. Yeah, that's mega not happening. So... Where are we going? Right. Is that it? Nope, that's a bandit camp. South of Brunswick. Okay. Is this it? This random thing here? I suppose I'd say this. Have you see something. That thing right there. To be clear, by the way, it's pretty obvious that everyone involved is extremely... How do I say this without sounding insulting? Because I don't actually mean this insulting. Extremely non-monogamous, let's put it that way. But the attitude I get very firmly from both the Triss relationship and the Yennefer relationship is that if you commit to it and go ahead with it, then both parties do actually want that to be a monogamous relationship. Oop. If anything, it's actually probably indicative of how much that is a change in the status quo from the way they've been previously. Is this it? Keep hang on. No. There we go. Or what? Me personally? Neither, Shiny Toki. That would be a... First of all, neither woman would ever be interested in me. Second of all, I'm not interested in either. Alright, Kay. This is it. This is your chance to shine. Flowers. There are no flowers. There's money. I'll take his money. Sure, I've taken his money. Thank you, Kay, for the 5 orans that I really needed. I believe you. I believe you. It probably hasn't loaded yet. For whatever reason. Oh, that's because I like the story arc better, Shiny Toki. I feel it fits better to have the father and the mother get together.
You'll choke to death on 3 pounds of steam.
I believe you, Kay, I do. And it makes sense that she would go and visit in the future. She probably felt bad for him. Especially funny since he might not be there anymore. We don't actually know what Gaunter O'Dim actually did to him in the end there. So he could be actually gone.
Our Ataman will lead and guide you. Never sure
How
to
much
fight beside.
for a herring?
Crown apiece.
Huh? I'll wait.
Need to chat.
I'm all ears, Witcher.
It's also assuming he was there to begin with, which is also a debatable.
Vladimir sends his love.
You spoke to him? Impossible.
Did more than that. Fulfilled your wish. And talked to him extensively. Curious what he had to say?
Geralt is Ciri's father, Shiny Toki. Yennefer is Ciri's mother. So...
Fulfilled your wish. Your dead brother had himself one more day like those of old.
Very easy to say. But have you got any proof?
I do.
Actually, obviously, I believe firmly in the idea of the concept that family is chosen, not born. But it is also interesting to note that Geralt himself calls her daughter by choice, or daughter of choice, or something along the lines of that.
You can buy today.
Vladimir's hand. It's unmistakable. You've done well, Witcher. Need something else?
Third wish. Timely stated it.
A moment, Geralt. I will say to something. Then we'll chat. You there. Yank the herring out the barrel.
Come on, none of this dallying.
Now, ready to listen? Or do you still not give 2 shites about what I've got to say?
I'm ready. I'm listening.
Good. You'll return to your lord and tell him as follows. His demand was brazen. Hurt me to the core. For I was brought up to respect the sacred law of hospitality. And I shall not bend to an uncouth boor's dictum. Understood? I will pay him a visit shortly to test his willingness to adapt. So you ride off and announce me, and don't spare your horse. Got it?
Aye, got it.
Give this man a mount and leave him go.
I doubt he'll remember even half of that, Taito. Triss is basically Ciri's sister, Shani Toki. She even calls her that.
Matters out of doors, with the gods as witnesses.
Beryl, what was that about?
On the way here, we stopped for nourishment at a tavern belonging to one Lord Dauntless. We enjoyed ourselves as one does at an inn, raucously. Our antics were not to the liking of this Dauntless. Sent a man to warn us that if we were ever to return, we would hang.
You burned the inn down?
I left ample compensation with the innkeep. But it seems the rapscallion neglected to mention this to his lord. But that's of little import. What matters is someone called me a whoreson and threatened to kill me. It was one of those threats that sound like an invitation. I intend to accept it. Return to those parts.
This is a weird aside, but I love the scars, the cut scars on his arm. It's a nice touch.
Fulfilled 2 of your wishes. Time I learned the 3rd.
Confident, aren't you? Proud, sure of your strengths. Fearless.
3rd task, if you don't mind.
Mutations. They stripped you of emotion. Tell me, have you ever loved? I mean, truly loved?
Yeah, I've loved. Can we get to the matter at hand?
Perhaps instead we ought to sit down inside. Have a good chat over some fiery water.
We'll drink once the job's done.
Afraid that's impossible. Succeed and that's the end of me. Fail and you'll not be back.
3rd wish. Still waiting to hear it.
Aye, aren't you stubborn? Fine. Listen well. I had a wife once. The day I saw her last, I gave her a rose. A violet one. Bring me that bloom. Wouldn't mind reminding myself what it looks like.
When was that? How long's it been? Flowers wilted and turned to dust by now.
You wished to hear a wish. Now you have. Fulfill it. I ride now to visit this Dauntless, but one of my men will remain here. He'll know how to find me. That is, of course, should you succeed.
Least you could tell me where your wife is.
In my old manor, east of Martin Foy's farmstead. I'd wish you Godspeed, but, well, you understand, I'm sure. Goodbye, Geralt.